What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the final edition of this week's Fan Mail of the Week 2013. I am your host, UnrealEntGaming, everybody. Welcome to the final episode of the year, everybody. New Year's is about a few days away, and all I have to say is happy holidays, guys. I really hope you guys had a wonderful Christmas, a wonderful Hanukkah, and I hope you guys have a wonderful New Year's, everybody. Please be safe, and I hope for those of you out there who are going to be drinking and partying, please do it responsibly. I really hope you guys enjoy your time on New Year's. I know a lot of you guys are going to be going to New Year's parties. Some of you might celebrate with your family, and some of you might just actually stay home and do nothing but play video games, and that's fine. But I hope each and every single one of you have a wonderful New Year, guys. We've come such a long way since early 2013, and actually I am very grateful for this year because so many extraordinary things happen. Granted, not everything can go the way you want it to, and there have been some good and bad things that happened this year, but overall I am very, very thankful that I'm here. I'm very thankful that you guys are all still a part of my lives. God bless every single one of you, male and female. Thank you all for believing in me. Thank you all for changing my life, because a lot of you actually have more of an effect on my life than you actually think, and for that I thank you so much, because if it wasn't for you guys I wouldn't be doing this, and I've changed so many people's lives, you know, and I am so grateful for that, and I feel so humbled because I actually, you know, can rest at night knowing that I actually helped somebody in real life. Like, I helped somebody get through their day, I helped somebody with their problems, and that to me is more rewarding than anything else that can ever be presented. So thank you all, everybody. I hope you all get your popcorn. I hope you all grab your junk food, grab your sodas, grab your beer, grab whatever it is you need to grab, because this is going to be probably the longest fan mail of the year. I promise you that. So let's begin with our first question, ladies and gentlemen, which is from
Alex. What's going on, man? It's your best friend here, Justin. You already know TKD Rebounds, man. Thank you for getting back to my fan mail. You know, I hope these questions, you know, that you can really answer them up to your best. You know, well, let's get started. First question: who's your number one best friend? Which I know is me. Thank you. Anyway, question number two. All right, what do you think about Thor 3? Thor 3. You know, do you think they're gonna come out with one? You know, what are your expectations? You know, like, what do you want to see? You know, what would you like to see? Do you think Loki would take over the throne? Do you think Thor would? You know, just a whole bunch of stuff. Question 3: if you woke up and then you see like a whole bunch of zombies outside, and you know, like, what's the first thing you would do? Would you go to a gun shop? Who would you take? Who would you not take? You know, would you go crazy? Would you kill me? I don't know. It's up to you. Question number 4: the Avengers 2. What are your thoughts on that? I'm dying to know this. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm a big fan of the Avengers, but I'm just dying to see a part 2. You know, so I don't know about your opinions, but I think gonna see some way beyond crazy stuff. Give me your thoughts and opinions on it. All right. Question number 4: out of all the ex-girlfriends that did you wrong, which one hurt you the most? You know, I was kind of there to some of them, but I'm not there with you all the time. So tell me your thoughts on it. You know, which one hurt you the most? Which one did you dirty? Which one actually really impacted you to make you the man that you are today? Now, question number 5: on if they were to make a GTA 6 or Grand Theft Auto 6, what would you want to see on it? You know what I mean? Would you want to see some, you know, a jet on a super time, whatever it is, you know, that's going on in your crazy mind of yours? You know, tell me your thoughts and opinion on GTA 6. And your last question would be, if you saw me picking a fight with Super Saiyan, you know, Majin Buu, whatever, who will win? I think I fucked that nigga up. You know, if there is a Super Saiyan Majin Buu, but I'll fuck that nigga up. Nah, but Alex, you know, man, Happy New Year, brother. You know, thanks for getting back to my questions. I will see you later. Peace.
I just saw you like a couple of days ago and you couldn't ask me these questions in person. My goodness. Anyways, Justin, thank you for the questions, man. I truly appreciate it. Guys, go on ahead and check out his channel. It is called TKD Rebounds. For those of you out there who don't know, I am also featured on his channel. So let's get on with the questions, Mr. Justin. To answer your first question, who is my best friend? Well, it's definitely not you, I'll tell you that, man. I'm just messing with you, man. It's definitely you and a few other people, and you know that. Paul is one of them, yourself, Steph and Omar, John. So I do have several best friends along with Brandon, AJ. I mean, just I keep a very small circle, as you already know, because not too many people can have the friendship that, you know, we have, the friendship that I have with Paul, the friendship that I have with Brandon, AJ, Dave, and everybody. So these days, friendship is taken for granted, and you know that. So I am proud to call all of you my friends. Actually, every single one of you watching this are my friends. And to me, I just feel like, friendship should be taken with the utmost seriousness and respect. So you already know that. We had a conversation about that a couple days ago. So to answer your second question, my thoughts on Thor 3. Well, number one, we're gonna have to find out what happens in the Avengers 2. That's going to carry on to Thor 3. But in my predictions, I feel like Loki is definitely going to die between the movies of the Avengers 2 and Thor 3. If they're going to make an Avengers 3, which I know there will, Loki will not be featured within that film, because I feel like personally Loki is going to die between the films of the Avengers 2 and Thor 3. And the reason why I say that is because, spoiler alert, towards the ending of the second movie of Thor, Loki was sitting on the throne of Asgard. So that right there is an indication of, did he kill Odin? Did Odin die? And, Loki went on ahead to pretty much take his place. So for Thor 3, my thoughts on that would be, it's definitely going to involve the Infinity Gems and the Infinity Gauntlet. They're definitely going to mention a lot of Thanos, because they're going to have to, because if Ultron is going to be in the second Avengers movie, then I'm pretty sure that in the third film, they're going to have Thanos. So they're going to have to build up a very good resume. They're going to have to build up a very good story to carry on into the Avengers 3, following up with Thor 3. So in Thor 3, I feel like Loki is going to go on ahead and fight Thor. Along with Asgard as well. I mean, since Loki technically has the throne, I'm pretty sure that Loki is going to turn Asgard against Thor. So you're going to see Thor versus Sith. You're going to see Thor versus, everybody, the Guardian and whatnot, because pretty much Loki is king, and whatever the king says, you have to do. And I'm pretty sure that there's going to be another enemy involved, but at this point, I'm not entirely sure on which route they're going to go with, whether they're going to bring back the Frost Giants, whether they're going to try and resurrect the Dark Elves, or whatever the case may be. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a second enemy within that film, and I'm pretty sure, like I said, towards the end of Thor 3, or somewhere in between the Avengers 2, Loki is going to die. I really doubt we're going to see Loki in the third Avengers movie and whatnot. I really, really doubt that. So those are my overall predictions for Thor 3, and I personally feel like they're going to introduce yet another surprise element into the third film. For example, in the second Thor movie, they introduced Captain America real fast as Loki was shape-shifting, so I'm pretty sure they're going to introduce somebody or something. So but those are my overall thoughts for Thor 3. To answer your third question, which is a good one, what would I do if I woke up and there was a zombie apocalypse? Well, be that as it may, me and you both live in Brooklyn, and me and you both know what it's like to live in New York, given the fact that there's millions and millions and millions of people here. So that just means if I woke up and I heard gunshots and explosions and people screaming, and I saw a zombie apocalypse go down, the first thing I would do is I would call you, I would call Omar, I would call all my friends, and I would ask you guys where the fuck you guys are at and what's going on. And the first thing I would do, honestly, is I would just rendezvous with all of you guys, because it's better to stick off in a group than to be by yourself. Who would I take with me? I would take anybody that I can find, honestly, you guys, women, whoever, whoever's on the street, whoever is a survivor, the more you have in a numbers game, the better it is, In terms of weapons, I would probably use whatever I have lying around my house or my room, and that. I would probably bash a zombie's face in with my PS4, and I'd probably chuck my Xbox One at somebody, I would definitely use my consoles as weapons. I mean, there's no point of playing them anymore, right? I mean, the fucking world went to shit. So expect me to bash a lot of people's brains in, or a lot of zombies' brains in, with the Xbox One and PS4. Another thing I would use as weapons is my keyboard, my monitor, my TV, my blue snowball mic. I have my military combat knife in my drawer. I have my giant freaking Gears of War freaking lancer that I can just swing on zombies. I have kitchen knives in my freaking kitchen. I have forks, and I have all sorts of weapons. I don't have guns. I mean, it's prohibited to have guns in New York. Even if you have a license, they're gonna be up your ass. But what I would do is I would grab bats, I would grab, crowbars and everything I can find around. I would just use that to my advantage. Where would we go? That's a good question, just given the fact that, the area that we live in. Probably go to Rite Aid or something and just camp it out there. I have no idea. I mean, that all depends if the zombies can run or walk. I mean, either or, we're screwed. But what would I do? I mean, it would be horrible, because our hopes and dreams are now gone. you know, everything that we've worked so hard for in life has just been reduced to blood and just, you know, violence, because, you know, now there's a virus out there that's just changing people and infecting people and killing people. And, you know, I'm pretty sure in real life the government does have some sort of a contagion or a pathogen or a virus that can reanimate the body, and that's what I'm mostly fearful of, because you never know what the government's capable of. You know, they have technologies and viruses that we've never even dreamed of, so who's to say that something like that can't really happen, you know? So in my personal opinion, what I would do, first thing I do, I would call you guys. I mean, I'd freaking like bombard your phone with phone calls. So that's the first thing I would do if you want to ask me for my honest opinion. To answer your fourth question, the Avengers 2, well, we all know they're going to battle Ultron, and we all know that the Guardians of the Galaxy are going to be involved, so I feel like, personally, if they kill off Ultron, it's not going to make sense, given the fact that Ultron is one of the Avengers' main enemy in the comic books. And I was actually reading some stuff that my friend Edgar was sending me on Facebook and whatnot, you know, on some anime, well, not animes, but comics, excuse me. And Ultron is really, really powerful, and as the series goes on, you know, his he adapts, and his armor and his metal is designed off of the same iron and metal that Wolverine's claws are made out of, so pretty much he's indestructible. So I really don't know how they're gonna play him off in the second film. But I really hope that he's a formidable foe. You know, I want to see Hulk try to fight him. I want to see the Guardians of the Galaxy team up and try to fight him. I want to see Thor, you know, bring all of Asgard into this and try to battle him. You know what I mean? Like, this is going to be a giant war. And Ultron has to be believable. Like, he has to level a city. You know what I mean? Like, Ultron is an indestructible machine. And given that the fact that Ant-Man is not in the film, Iron Man is going to be the one that's going to design him and pretty much bring him about. So that's going to be very interesting to see if it's going to be Jarvis, or we don't know what's going on so far. But I'm pretty sure towards the end of the Captain America movie, we're going to see a trailer for the Avengers 2. And if that happens, I swear to you, I will just scream on the top of my lungs. I'm so excited to see the Avengers 2. The Avengers 1 was so good, but I think it could have been better with more action and whatnot, and I hope that's what they're going to do in the second film, because if not, it's going to be really disappointing. But I feel like the Avengers 2 is going to be worth the money. You know that. We're all going to go see it. So after next month, it's going, well, after a couple of days, it's going to be a year from now. So it's really not that long compared to what we had to wait before. So definitely a film for everybody to go check out. I highly recommend it. So to answer your fifth question, this is kind of like kind of personal, but I'm just gonna go on and say, which one of my exes hurt me the most? Well, I'm just gonna be public with this, guys. I have nothing to hide from you guys, because I see that all of you guys are my friends, and I've helped many of you guys in real life. So exes that have hurt me, well, I had this one girl named Heather. She pretty much led me on to go date somebody else, so that was pretty much a big letdown and a big heartbreak. But thank God I didn't go any further, because then it really would have been, you know, bad. It took me a while to get over it, because I really did not understand what was going on. So all I had to do was just accept it and move on, you know. Another girl that pretty much broke my heart was a girl named Tanusha. I remember, this was way back in the day, I remember I kept trying to ask her out, and I kept trying to, you know, be with her, and I was doing all sorts of nice things for her, and then all she did pretty much was just lead me on once again to go with somebody else. So pretty much that's 2 for 2, you know, 2 girls leading me on just to go with somebody else who they're going to end up getting heartbroken over. So that pretty much says a lot for girls, doesn't it? I mean, another girl that I could say broke my heart was a girl named Alyssa, but we are on very good terms right now. But before, she pretty much did the same thing. Like, she was having a hard time with her boyfriend. She didn't want to be with him. She was telling me one thing, but she did another, you know. And then she suddenly stopped speaking to me because she was, you know, told by her boyfriend, oh, if you speak to him, I'll never be with you, you know. And unfortunately enough, you know, months passed on by, and he cheated on her plenty of times, and she left him, and she finally opened up her eyes, and she saw that I was right. So that right there just speaks a lot in and of itself. So those would have to be 3 girls off the top of my head right now. One more that I can mention is a girl named Mariah. Same thing. She pretty much led me on. So, I mean, a lot of girls lead people on these days, which I never understand why, but I guess that's just how the way they are. So just can't do anything about it except, you know, live and learn. So to answer your 6th question, GTA 6, what would I want to see? I want to see environment destructions like Battlefield. I think that would be pretty cool for the first time ever having environment destruction in GTA 6. I would want to see more open capacity. Like, for example, you're able to do so much more than you can in GTA 5. Bigger maps, perhaps have, animals that you can purchase from stores. Like, let's say if you want to buy a dog to keep around, you can go to the pet store and buy a dog, buy a cat, buy a fish, buy birds, that kind of stuff. Have animals as pets. Another thing I would like to see is a bigger online integration with more playlists, sort of say. For example, create your own map, create your own character fully, create your own weapons, create your own, car, interior, outerior, all that kind of stuff. Create your own house, create your own crib, stuff like that. Like a bigger creation mode. I think that'd be pretty cool. But other than that, I mean, GTA 5 is still improving, so we're just going to have to wait and see in the next couple of years on what they're going to do next. So, and to answer your last question, no, there's no such thing as a Super Saiyan Majin Buu, but if there was, you would get obliterated, my friend. There would be no chance of you even surviving. So I'm sorry, Justin, but your anus would get torn apart. So, but thank you so much, Justin. I really hope you have a happy holiday season, and I'll be seeing you in a couple hours anyway. So, take care, my friend. And now moving on to the next question, which is from 3-Man Broadcast, ladies and gentlemen.
What's going on, Alex? UnrealEntGaming. I am your good friend, 3-Man Broadcast, and I just wanted to do your question of the week this week. I was featured in your podcast, and I just want you to, I haven't done one of these in a while, so I'm going to go ahead and start asking you a couple questions. All right, Mitty. Question number 1. What do you think about Herschel's death? Question number 2. What do you think about the new dog Vinny in Family Guy? Question number 3. Who do you think should be in the next Avengers? And by that, I mean, who would you assemble for the next Avengers team? Question number 4. What is something you've always wanted to do before you die? Question number 5. What do you want for Christmas? And question number 6. What did you get me for Christmas? I'm just kidding. But yeah, that's I got 6 questions there for you. And you keep up the good work on your YouTube. And I appreciate all the help you're giving me and 3-Man. And just keep it coming, because there's only going to be more videos from here. And for those of you watching this, go check out my channel, 3-Man Broadcast. I do a lot of videos with UnrealEntGaming, and this has been your broadcast.
For the questions, Brandon. It really means a lot, especially coming from you. And ladies and gentlemen, it just goes to show that a friendship can go a long way, because that guy that you just saw right there, I met him a very, very long time ago, back in 2008. I remember meeting him on Xbox, and it just goes to show that whether it be, the internet, whether it be in real life, whether it be Xbox, PlayStation, whatever the case may be, a friendship can be based on anything. And I remember meeting him back in 2008, and I practically grew up with him, back when I was in high school, and he was just, graduating middle school, going into high school and whatnot. I remember just being his friend. And now 3-Man Broadcast, aka Brandon, is my very, very close friend. I'm actually proud to say that he's one of my best friends, along with everybody else in Alabama. He's such a great person, guys. I mean, I've done thousands of videos with him, guys. I mean, many of you guys might remember him as Paintball Falcon on my videos. But I would definitely recommend you guys to go on ahead and check him out. He's such a cool kid. He finally grew up over the years. Back in the day, he was kind of like a D-bag, and he was just so annoying sometimes here and there. And so was AJ and some kid that we used to know named Muffin and whatnot. So, but many, many memories with him, and it's just incredibly awesome. So, like he just said, guys, go on ahead and check out 3-Man Broadcast. I'm featured on there as well. Some videos that you haven't really seen on here featured on there. So, but let's get on with the questions. To answer your first question, what do I think about Herschel's death? It sucks, man. It really, really sucks, because I remember talking about it on the broadcast, and it's sad to see somebody like that go, because now that Herschel's gone, who's going to maintain order? You know, who's going to maintain peace? I mean, everything is just so discombobulated right now. Without Herschel, everybody's just going to go crazy, because Herschel was the one that would prevent everybody from going crazy. Like, you know, like if you would go off and do something stupid, he would sit you down and be like, listen, son, you need to like calm down, this, that, and the third. And now that Herschel's gone, it's like, well, where's the order? I mean, Rick is in no position to command anybody to do whatever because he's out of his mind. Daryl is emotionally unstable, especially what happened with Merle and whatnot. Same thing goes with Carl. Carl is probably the only one that can probably maintain order at this point, because he seems to be the only character that has his shit together. You know, Glenn is sick. Maggie is in no position to be doing anything. So it just goes to show that Herschel was the one that actually maintained the group and kept it the way it was. You know, if it wasn't for Herschel, that group would have been dead a long time ago. So especially if it wasn't for Herschel, you know, nobody would have been at that farm. So technically everybody would have been dead a very long time ago, 2 seasons ago. So I really hope that the governor's dead, and because I could not stand the fucking governor. Like, the governor as a villain was such a douchebag, a manipulative douchebag, and like, it just goes to show that he was such a great villain, because I can't stand him. And I actually want to thank you once again for getting me into The Walking Dead, because I remember, I'm sure you remember as well, a couple of years ago, when it was you and Tyler and everybody watching The Walking Dead, I used to just sit there on Xbox with you guys, and I used to just be like, oh, who the hell cares about Walking Dead, blah blah, and then you guys would tell me like, wow, this is like a great show, like you ought to check it out, and I did. And you know, thank you so much for that, because if it wasn't for you pretty much talking me into The Walking Dead, I would have never watched it. So Herschel, without him, I mean, things aren't just going to be the same, but I'm pretty sure they're going to run into somebody else later on down the road who might replace Herschel's role, even though I really don't think they should find somebody else to do that, because Herschel should be like the be-all, end-all of that group in terms of like common sense. So I mean, I'm pretty sure you were shocked when you first found out and when you first saw it. I mean, I couldn't believe it with my own eyes. I was like, wow, the governor literally just did that. Like, that guy is just psychotic. Like, he's insane. I mean, why would you do that? You know, it makes no sense, just because you lost your quote-unquote daughter, who wasn't even your daughter to begin with. So it was just terrible. But I mean, it was a great thing. I mean, I'm sure the ratings went up, and The Walking Dead is just a standalone thing, and I'm pretty sure you know that. So to answer your second question, Vinny from Family Guy. Nobody really gives a shit about Vinny. I mean, Brian is Brian. Brian will forever be the dog on Family Guy. I mean, it's kind of like comparing Brian to like Tyler. Imagine if like Tyler's fat ass died and we replaced him with some other fat kid. It wouldn't be the same, you know, because Tyler was always Tyler. So but in terms of Vinny, nobody really cares. I mean, I'm pretty sure people would prefer Brian over Vinny any day of the week. So to answer your third question, how would I set up the next Avengers? Who would I include? I would definitely include the obvious, Wolverine and Spider-Man, because they are a part of the fucking Avengers. I mean, it just goes without showing that you need those two in order to have a great movie in a certain aspect, because Wolverine and Spider-Man do have their moments, especially with the Avengers. And if I had to cast the next Avengers movie, I would definitely include Wolverine, definitely include Spider-Man. I would make the next Avengers movie a lot longer, actually, rather than a little longer than what it already was. I would make the Avengers 2 probably 3 hours long, for the simple fact that I would love to tell the story of each character. I would love to explain the story of Ultron. I would love there to be destruction and chaos within the city, within the world, within the universe. Pretty much opening up parallel gates, you know, making references to Thanos, you know, all sorts of stuff like that. Putting the Avengers in a position of like desperation and hope, you know what I mean? Because what's a great story without having desperation and hope? And I'm pretty sure that a character like Ultron would be able to bring that out in the Avengers. And given the fact that Ultron was originally created by Ant-Man, they would have to go another route in introducing Ultron, given the fact that Ant-Man was never introduced in a previous film. And I'm pretty sure Ultron would give the Avengers a run for their money. I mean, because he was the Avengers, like, you know, top guy to fight. You know, like, Ultron was like the enemy for the Avengers, aside from, you know, Thanos and Galactus and all that kind of stuff. So by having Wolverine and Spider-Man on your team, I mean, that would just benefit tenfold because Wolverine is obviously a beast and Spider-Man can be of great help, especially with the new Amazing Spider-Man 2 trailer that just came out. I mean, it just looks absolutely amazing. So the way I would do it, I would incorporate Wolverine and Spider-Man in the Avengers 2. And for the Avengers 3, I would have the Fantastic Four, the Guardians of the Galaxy, Wolverine, Spider-Man, Ant-Man, Doctor Strange, and probably maybe incorporate the Collector in there just for shits and giggles. But I mean that's the way I would do it because it would make a lot of sense to incorporate a huge cast since you're gonna be fighting like an unstoppable being. So. To answer your fourth question, what was something I've always wanted to do before I die? Well, I wanted to come down to Alabama and visit you guys. That's something I've always wanted to do, and I'm going to do. But what's something I've always wanted to do before I die? I've always wanted to go skydiving, I guess you could say, because, I mean, it was always something that I've wanted to try, and even though I'm afraid of heights, I mean, why not just go on ahead and try it anyway? I mean, life is just too short not to try anything, right? So, especially if it has something to do with adrenaline, So, skydiving would definitely be one. Another one would probably be going to Hollywood and going to California and just visiting out there. I always wanted to go out there just to see how it was like. I mean, Brandon, have you not played GTA 5 and wondered how it was like in California? I mean, you just hear all the stories and you see all the pictures and whatnot. And I have a few friends out there too, so it would be amazing to do that. So that would be one thing I would like to do. But just on the top of my head, I would like to say skydiving and just traveling. So to answer your fifth question, what did I get for Christmas? Well, I didn't really get anything. I mean, normally Christmas just whizzes right past us when we're older, right? Because we're not kids anymore, we don't put milk and cookies out for Santa, and we don't just sit there all night and just wait for our presents to be delivered, we pretty much go out and buy our own gifts for Christmas. So in terms of what I got this year, I really didn't get much other than getting myself some protein stuff. But to answer your last question, what did I get you for Christmas? I got you a shit in a fucking box. That's exactly what I got you. I took a fat dump in a box and I mailed it to Alabama. That's exactly what I got you for Christmas, Brandon. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, you're gonna find out very soon. I mean, you should have already found out, but let's just see if the shipping gets there. But thank you for the questions, Mr. 3-Man Broadcast. For those of you out there who haven't already done so, like I said again, please go on ahead and check them out, guys. Thank you, Brandon. I hope you have a wonderful New Year's, and I'll be seeing you very, very soon. But nevertheless, on to the next question, ladies and gentlemen, which is from...
Hey Alex, it's me again, and you asked for it, you got it. And yeah, pretty much. So I wanted to ask you this for a very long time now. Do you think the Resident Evil games are done? Do you think they'll for never go back to survival horror? Do you think that they will never go back? Because personally, I know a lot of people hated Resident Evil 5 and 6. I love 5, personally. I think it was awesome. I thought the storyline was pretty cool, but it wasn't survival horror. It was a mindless action game. And that was it. Pretty much, yeah. Personally, I think that they should go back to survival horror, but to depend on Capcom's fat egos, personally, I think Capcom is just not a good. Personally, I don't really think Capcom would ever go back. I don't think Capcom will go back to do a good Resident Evil game, because Capcom, they're just gonna go stay back to the Call of Duty Resident Evil games, action adventure type shit, and you're just gonna disappoint fans, and I think that's a huge disappointment. But how do you feel about it? Is the Resident Evil games are done and they'll never go back to survival horror, and vice versa? The next question is, will you ever get another PS3? I know that you sold your PS3 to get a PS4, but please get a PS3 because me and fans like me want to play with you on PS3 and want to battle you on Tekken Revolution or DC Online and help want to battle with you on DC Online because I would love to be at your side on DC Online, and I'll say, let's do it, Undertale. Let's do it, Alex. Let's kick some ass. And I hope I'm just asking, will you ever get another PS3 and go play with your subscribers on PS3? But I don't know. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. But I'm just asking. Anywho, the next question is, will there be another animated series of Dragon Ball Z? Yes, I agree with you. There is no confirmation on there's another Dragon Ball Z going. Another Dragon Ball Z animated series. That there's no official confirmation. And yes, I know Ko Toriyama did want to do other mangas for his other projects. And I'm just asking you, and I know a lot of people ask you this all the time, if there would be, and let's say, boom, it's already announced that there's already another Dragon Ball Z in production, already started. If there would be another animated series, would you review every episode? Will you review it? Will you review it every episode of the new series? Personally, oh fuck yeah, I would do it all the way. I would fucking flat out review it every episode, and hell, I would give predictions on, okay, this is me, such and such, Goku, blah 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 blah, and this is my prediction on the next episode, and blah, and that's it. Will you do that? Will you do that? That's what I'm asking. The next question is, will you do game reviews? I'm just asking, will you do game reviews? I know you're doing a lot of gameplay Let's Plays, but I don't see you reviewing gameplay. Oh, don't see you do game reviews. I know you're doing movies, but why not you do game reviews? I love to see you do game reviews, but I'm just asking if you ever will. So, yeah, that's pretty much it on that. And the last and not least, the last one, will you have fans guest starring on your podcasts? I would love to anticipate your podcast. I would love to join with you and your friends and to discuss about movies, comic books, I don't know, anything. I would love to talk to you about it, talk to you and your friends about shit, and that's all I want. That's all I have. Pretty much, that's it. Hopefully you reply to this hopefully you do a fan mail of the week, and hopefully you sees this video and all the hunky-dory shit. I'll see you next time. Stay tuned. And, hey, Season 2, Fan Mail of the Week, coming soon, 2014.
Do you want to know what I like about this guy? Is that he is so freaking awesome. Literally, my friend Edgar right here, everybody. Thank you so much for the questions, Edgar. I've been sharing information with him back and forth regarding DC, Marvel, thoughts on Godzilla and whatnot. Truly such a humbling person, so thank you so much for this. To answer your first question, I do agree, man. I'm a huge Resident Evil fan. I love zombies for that matter. But Resident Evil has gone down in the shitter over the years. Why? Because they want to be like Call of Duty. Everybody wants to be like fucking Call of Duty. Stop. Everybody just needs to like pull their heads out of their asses and just realize that their games are not comparable to Call of Duty. Just because Call of Duty made a lot of money does not make it a great game for that matter. I was about to say console. God forbid they made a Call of Duty console. But just because the franchise in and of itself made billions of dollars doesn't mean you have to go on ahead and just copy and be like them, because in the end you're going to end up screwing up and you're going to look incredibly fucking stupid, as did Resident Evil 6. Resident Evil 5 as well. Resident Evil 5 wasn't as good as Resident Evil 4 in my opinion, because Resident Resident Evil 4 had a dark feeling to it, you know, just running around the woods, having these crazy villagers, you know, stalking you, and just you had all sorts of stuff going on. It was truly a classic game. Resident Evil 5 tried. You know, they tried to copy from its protege, Resident Evil 4, but it kind of flopped here and there. And then Resident Evil 6 was just, you know, Michael Bay explosions left, right, and it wasn't no horror survival. I am just going to rant right now. But you asked me if they're ever going to go back to survival horror. Yes, they will. Do you want to know why? It's because pretty much they already announced Resident Evil 7 to a certain extent. If you go read some of their articles and whatnot, they specifically said that they are going to go back to the very core of Resident Evil, that they're going to go back and cater to the hardcore fans now. It's no more casual fans. They're not going to appeal to the casual fans anymore. They're going to appeal to the hardcore fans. And what they mean by that is Resident Evil 7 is definitely going to go back to survival horror. And I don't know exactly what they mean by that, if they're going to incorporate, you know, the same atmosphere, maybe incorporate zombies again or something, but they definitely said they're going back to survival horror. Now, I played Resident Evil Revelations. It was a great game. I mean, definitely another great survival horror game. It wasn't the best, but it certainly fit that aspect. So for Resident Evil 7, what they need to do is they definitely need to just lay away from all the explosions, all of the, you know, Kung-Pao fighting, jiu-jitsu, all that shit, and just stick to, you know, mutants and zombies and outbreaks and viruses and psychopaths and just genetic alternative beasts, all that stuff. That's what Resident Evil was built on, you know? So for Resident Evil, the movies suck. Like, I think you can agree with that one. The movies are shit. Like, literally, the Resident Evil movies, all of them suck, and all of them need a reboot. I cannot bear it anymore. I mean, the new one is coming out, what, next year? God help us all, really. Jesus Christ in heaven, just God bless us all. I mean, just, if whoever goes to see Resident Evil 7 next year, may God have mercy on your soul, because that movie's gonna suck. So they definitely need to revamp the movies. They need to revamp the franchise, because after Resident Evil 4, they tried, but they failed. Resident Evil 6, the closest we ever got to anything good was the Leon campaign, you know, because it was dark, it was twisted, it was, you know, it gave you the old school feeling of Resident Evil, and then after that, it just pretty much went to shit. So will they ever go back? Yes, they will. But will they do it correctly is the question. Now, will they do it correctly? I would hope. I mean, being that we're Resident Evil fans, we would want to see a great game, so I would hope that they would go back and just refix things and whatnot, but if not, then we're pretty much screwed, man. I mean, what more do we ask for except for them to bring in survival horror? I mean, is it that hard? I wouldn't think so, so that's just my take on Resident Evil right now. I still love the franchise, good or bad, thick or thin, but it's really just unbearable at this point. So, to answer your second question, I was actually thinking about getting another PS3 again for the third time, because I kind of felt bad after I got rid of my second PS3, because, you know, I really needed a PS4, but I didn't have the money for it. So I was like, you know what? You know, be that as it may, the PS4 is going to be better than the PS3 anyway, so why even stick around? I mean, next year they promised to unveil the Genkai system, or the Gaikai, whatever the hell they're going to incorporate for the PS4, where it allows you to play video games and have a backwards capability for playing PS3 games. So if that's true, what's the point of having a PS3, you know? But that's only if they do that. I mean, I would love to play DC Online with you. I'm about to get the game today, actually, because a lot of people have been telling me that it's up already, so I'm definitely going to look into that. I definitely, today I'm getting DC Online for the PS4, and hopefully it's going to play off. But if I do decide to get a PS3 for cheap, then I will see what I can do. I'm probably not going to get rid of it after that, because what's the point of me getting a third PS3 and just getting rid of that too, you know? And PS3s aren't really cheap either. I mean, the prices have gone down, but not nearly as much as, you know, what I would hope for. But the PS4 is where it's at, man. I'm sorry. Just the PS4 is such a great freaking console. I mean, there are bugs on it, yes. I mean, there are, you know, things on the game that, I mean, the PS4 is not the greatest console that ever came out. I mean, it has its bugs, it has its glitches. But it's really, really good, man. I mean, I love the PS4. I'm just waiting for more games to come out. So, personally, for me, will I ever get a PS3 again? I can't say at this point. Maybe, maybe not. I really don't have a definite answer. Definite. Sorry, I don't have a definite answer just yet. But if I do, you're gonna be one of the first people I'm gonna play with, because on the PS3 I wasn't really playing with that many people as I was on the Xbox. On the Xbox I play with all my freaking people. So on the PS3 it wasn't as much because I didn't really have like the feeling, or it didn't feel the same as the Xbox to me. So that's pretty much that. To answer your third question, if they were to ever announce a new Dragon Ball Z series, would I be happy about it? Fuck yeah, I would. Would I review every single episode? Fuck yeah, I would. I mean, that is something that I would definitely review over and over and over and over and over and over again, just to point out its pros and cons. But then again, we don't really know what's going on. I mean, Sean Schimmel even came out and said, listen, I have no idea on what they're doing with Battle of the Gods or whatnot, so don't ask me. And even if I did have information, I'm not telling anybody. So that's exactly what he said. So who's to say that they're not planning anything right now? But I really hope so, because Dragon Ball Z is, one of the greatest animes ever, period, bar none. So I would love to see another series. I mean, literally, I think we as fans would be happy just to have one more great series, from the original creator. Bring in some Bruce Falconer music. If not, at least try to make the music, great, I guess you could say, or just on par with it. But would I do reviews for it? Absolutely, because I would love to point out, the pros and cons on the show, pretty much pointing out what's good and bad about the show. So I would definitely do that. I mean, it all depends on which direction they go with, hopefully, fingers crossed, they're going to do the right thing. But then again, Dragon Ball Z will always be one of the greatest franchises for me. So to answer your fourth question, will I do game reviews? Now that you said that, just for you, stay tuned for 2014. That's all I have to say. I'm really going to give my honest opinions about certain games. So for that, you are just going to have to wait and see, because that's actually not a bad idea, because I have a lot to say about several games. So for that, all I have to say is just stay tuned for 2014, because that's going to be a great year for all of us, I promise. And to answer your last question, will I bring fans? I was about to say pans. God, I'm thinking too much of Dragon Ball Z right now. Will I bring fans on over to the podcast? Yes. I am planning on actually bringing several people in. I'm planning on bringing my friend Justin, TKD Rebounds. I'm planning on bringing you, because you have a lot of knowledge on superhero type, comic book stuff, along with, Godzilla and Dragon Ball Z and so many other things. So you would be a great addition. Andy Keller would be another great person. So anybody really who is just engaging, for that matter, would be great. I mean, I'll welcome anybody for that matter. But we will actually do special guests. I'm actually planning on doing that for certain episodes, for certain peaks. So I think on the I'm trying to think right now. I can't really give a specific number on which podcast. Maybe podcast episode number 7 or ish, somewhere around there. We're definitely going to do that. So all you have to do is just stay tuned. I mean, I'm definitely going to message the people that I want to, feature on here, but definitely it's going to be something great. And I'm pretty sure I would love to hear what you have to say, because I know you have a lot to say, because every single day you post up these articles on, Hugh Jackman's Wolverine and stuff like that. And just it's really interesting, because, I pick up these articles from you and I read it, and then sometimes me and you have a little conversation here and there, and it's really cool. So I would love to do that. But fans on podcasts, definitely something that I'm willing to do. So but Mr. Edgar, I hope you have a wonderful New Year's, my friend. Just try not to overdrink, because I mean, everybody bounds to do that on New Year's. So have a wonderful holiday season, man, and I'll be seeing you in the next episode. And now moving on once again to the next question, which is from
Hey, UnrealEntGaming, it's me again, and I was wondering what the hell? 1 second. No. No. No! Hey, UnrealEntGaming. I was wondering, have you ever been stressed out by school? Because I try to get the best grades I possibly can, and I sometimes get overwhelmed by it. Has that ever happened to you? And also, are you willing to read my Dragon Ball Z fanfiction? Because I think it's preferably cool, but I've never had anybody read it. You're kind of the only Dragon Ball Z fan I know. But if you are willing to see it, I'll email you or something about it. Thanks, and I'll see you later.
Wait, why the hell did Gohan kill Batman? What logic is this? That was so unexpected, I mean, really. But anyways, thanks for the questions, George. To answer your first question, have I ever been stressed out in school? Yes. There were several times back when I was in high school where schoolwork used to stress me a lot, homework used to stress me a lot, and pretty much, I mean, it can be overwhelming, but you're going to have to just accept the fact that it is what it is to a certain extent. And it can be overwhelming at times, but you have to remember that it'll all pay off in the long run as long as you do what you gotta do and pay attention in school. For those people who don't really pay attention in school and pretty much just give up, they're missing out on a lot, because life is all about knowledge. You know, the more knowledge you have, you know, the better off you are in life. So have I ever been overwhelmed in school? Yes, I have, especially during my junior and sophomore year. I was just overwhelmed with work and tests and finals and, you know, regions and midterms, all that kind of stuff. So I know what it's like to be on the front line for schoolwork. But all you have to do is just study. I mean, when you go to school, it's just basic lecturing. You have to just remember what they say, really. It's really simple, you know. It isn't really complex, you know, as long as you just pay attention to what they're saying. Granted, some things you may not understand, but that's why you're there, to ask questions and do what you have to do. So I'm pretty sure that a lot of you guys were struggling in the last couple of weeks, given the fact that you know, you had finals and midterms and tests and all that kind of stuff. So it may be hard because we are, you know, nearing the end of the year, so that's why. But have I ever been overwhelmed? Yes, plenty of times, and thank God I'm done with those days, because I couldn't even hack it at the moment. You know, back when I was, you know, in school and whatnot, I was just heckled with work, and it was just so much to do, and it was just so little time because you had so many other influences like video games and TV and friends and all that kind of stuff. So you got caught up in that. But definitely just do what you have to do, man, and just don't feel overwhelmed, because it'll all be over in the end. So, and to answer your final question, will I read your fan fiction? Absolutely. Just send it on over in my inbox. Like, I actually read Dragon Ball New Age. I read some stuff, so I mean, I would be very interested in reading that. So on that note, I really hope you have a wonderful holiday season, man. Have a happy New Year's, and thank you for the questions, man. And now, once again, moving on to the next question, which is from...
Hey Alex, I want to say thank you for taking your time out of this, you know, for Family of the Week and everything. I really appreciate it. You know, you give so much to the people in return and everything, and you know, from my bottom of my heart, I want to say thank you. And I really do appreciate it. And you know, I am a subscriber. You know, I am your fan. I'm your friend. I'm your brother, if you want to say that. But thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for taking your time out of your day, out of your busy schedule, just to give back to us. You know, I appreciate that. I appreciate that very much. But you know, not many people do that. But anyways, I got a few questions for you, and hopefully you can answer them and everything. I'm sorry about the pen if it's bothering you and everything, but wrote them down just in case I forget them. It took me a while just to think about it, so let me get the questions real quick, and let's get it started. First question: in Battle of Gods, we said Goku defeated Frieza. What about future Trunks? He was the one that killed Frieza and King Cold. So why wasn't future Trunks brought up? You know, why? You know, what is your opinion on that? Question 2. If they end up making another Dragon Ball Z movie, but it doesn't deal with Battle of Gods, what if they have Goten and Trunks overhearing Vegeta and Goku, you know, about their home planet, Planet Vegeta, and about their parents, where Goten and Trunks end up getting the Dragon Balls, end up wishing for their parents, you know, to be back to life on Earth, etc. You know, just to bring it back. You know, what would you think? I want your opinion on this. You know, how would it affect with the storyline, etc. Last question, question 3. Well, no, it's not last question. My bad. What if they end up making a new series about Dragon Ball Z, about bringing back the old villains, Cell, Frieza. What if they end up having Cell to come back as an evil villain again, but instead he ends up absorbing Frieza, and then Janemba, what kind of powers, or what would Cell look like, or the power and everything, where Goku and Vegeta have to fuse again, bring back Gogeta and Vegito, maybe Super Saiyan 3, or possibly we could even see Super Saiyan 3 Gohan, if anything. What is your opinion about that? Okay, last questions. Have you ever heard of Clash of Clans? It's an app, on the App Store. Wondering if you ever heard of it, if you ever did. Possibly give it a try. It's a very addictive game, and I personally love it, but I don't own a system or anything. But with the money I've wasted, I could have bought me a brand new system with it. But it's money comes to go. But hopefully they'll be giving me a PS4 soon. So yeah, well, thank you, Alex, for your time. Just to answer my questions and everything. I appreciate it. So peace, man. Take care. Love you, bro.
From the bottom of my heart, man, and I truly mean this, thank you so much for the humble words, man. God bless you and your family. Thank you for actually giving me the inspiration to do this, because it's people like you that make me do this, like you give me faith to actually look back and just play the games that I always loved when I was a child, even today, so for you to take your time off to watch my stuff, it's a really great feeling, and I feel humbled, and I love you too, man. Like I said, I don't see you guys as fans, I see you all as friends. Now there are a lot of you, don't get me wrong, but be that as it may be, I view every single one of you as my friends, and that is why I do this, especially for fan mail, because I want to talk to you guys. I want to hear your problems, I want to give you advice, I want to hear your opinions on things, because it just can't be my own opinion. That's why I ask you guys, what are your views, what are your opinions? I want to hear what you guys have to say about movies, entertainment, wrestling, Dragon Ball Z, TV shows, anything for that matter. I want to get your opinions on it, because you guys are just as important, because we're all people. And truly, thank you for taking your time to make this video. Thank you for taking your time to watch my videos. Truly, I really hope you have a wonderful holiday season, man. So, let's get on to the questions. To answer your first question, you also have to remember that Akira Toriyama forgot everything, man. That's why Battle of Gods seemed a little off, because Akira Toriyama hasn't worked on Dragon Ball Z for decades, man, for like almost a decade and a half, so he forgot everything. In the interviews that he had, he forgot that Goku had a Super Saiyan 3 level. He thought that Goku's Super Saiyan 3 level was his Super Saiyan 2. I understand you don't want to be known for a certain, anime or cartoon show or whatever for the rest of your life. You want to be remembered as a guy who worked on multiple things, and I respect that, but how do you forget, How do you forget about Future Trunks, especially Future Trunks, because you're right, he did kill Frieza, but Goku technically beat Frieza on the planet. So I'm taking it where as Akira Toriyama just wanted to base it off Goku. Now, why wasn't Future Trunks mentioned? One of two reasons. Number one, either Akira Toriyama completely forgot that he created Trunks to destroy Frieza. So I'm pretty sure Akira Toriyama forgot, where along the lines Future Trunks came in the mix, and that could be a possibility. Don't get me wrong. I'm pretty sure Whis is like the overseer of things, and he knows all. And for him to miss that is just a little strange, because that was a very, very critical moment. So the reason why I believe Future Trunks was never mentioned was because Akira Toriyama forgot. It was his first time working on Dragon Ball Z in how long? The guy obviously forgot a lot of stuff. So it would have been really cool to have Future Trunks come back. They could have made Battle of Gods better. I'm sure you know that. They could have made Battle of Gods 10 times better. Don't get me wrong. The movie was good. It was great. But as great as it may be, it could have been that much better. But, Akira Toriyama, man, he's getting old. He forgot. it sucks. So, what else can we do as fans? Just hope for the best. So, to answer your second question, that would be a great idea. But wouldn't that mean Goten and Trunks have to bring back nearly everybody to a certain extent? Especially if you're talking grandparents. That includes Vegeta and Bardock. But how would the story play off is the question, because we all know that Bardock and King Vegeta are no, shape or form stronger than their, sons, Goku and Vegeta are. So how would you incorporate a villain? Given the fact that King Vegeta can't turn into a Super Saiyan, I believe, and Bardock's Super Saiyan film wasn't even canon. So even if Bardock would return Super Saiyan, that completely leaves King Vegeta out the mix. So it wouldn't be fair. I would love for them to try and wish them back, because at least Bardock would meet Goku for the first time, and he would meet his grandson Gohan and, Goten and stuff like that. So I think that'd be really cool. But the story as a whole, how would you go about Goku and Vegeta talking about Planet Vegeta? Maybe Goku can bring it up like, hey, have you ever stopped to think about, like, we're the most powerful Saiyans that ever existed on Planet Vegeta? And then Vegeta can go off and say, yeah, we may be, but there was one person who was more powerful than anybody, and that was the original Super Saiyan God. And as they're talking, Goten and Trunks can be like, wow, so like, my granddad was a king and your granddaddy was a mercenary and stuff like that. Like, they can actually go along with this, but how would they utilize a villain? Who would be the villain? That's the question. I mean, bringing those guys back would not be a problem, but having a villain, having a specific story would be the problem. By them overhearing Goku and Vegeta talk about it would be great, because that sets itself up for the actual story, but what would be like the main, villain story? Like, how does the villain come about? I mean, especially with Goku and Vegeta, I mean, those are the only two you really need in terms of a fight. Once you have Goku, Vegeta in the mix, I mean, it's over. So, my question to that would be, how would they introduce a villain? Would it be a good idea? I think it would. To see Bardock, talk shit about Vegeta, to see King Vegeta look at Goku and then be like, how the fuck did Goku surpass you? You're my son, Vegeta. You're a disgrace. Blah, 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 blah. Somewhere along those lines. So I think that'd be pretty cool to have like a lot of backlash, because there would be backlash. But in an essence, how would the main story go about is the question. So to answer your third question, a new series revolving the old villains would be awesome. Especially if you have like a reincarnation saga where they actually bring back all the villains. But if I was Akira Toriyama, I would bring back all the villains, right? Just for them to stand in front of Goku and Vegeta. And Goku and Vegeta are like, listen, man, we can destroy all of you just in our base form. Let alone Super Saiyan 1, 2, or me going Super Saiyan 3. Or let alone me and Vegeta fusing. So you guys are all screwed. Go back through the dimension and stay there. So as Cell, Frieza, and everybody, comes out, they can be like, oh yeah, you may be way powerful, than us while we're, in single stature forms, but what about if we were to combine our powers? And then Goku and Vegeta are like, please, I mean, you guys can't really do much. What are you going to do? So then, I mean, instead of having Cell absorb everybody, what they could do is this. They could have it to where Cell absorbs Frieza, and then the fusion of Cell and Frieza fight Goku and Vegeta either separately or whatever. I would prefer separately. So you would have the fusion of Cell and Frieza fighting Goku and Vegeta somehow overcoming that fusion, but not without getting beaten up by the Cell-Frieza combination. So let's say, for example, the fusion of Cell and Frieza are equivalent to a Super Saiyan 3. For the first time, you can actually, debut Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, have him alongside Super Saiyan 3 Goku fight this fusion off, and, it's pretty much a tie. And then the combination of Cell and Frieza realizes, hey, we're not done yet. We have yet another, trick up our sleeve, and that's when they can reintroduce Kid Buu or something like that, or Super Buu coming out, and then Super Buu can actually absorb the fusion of Cell and Frieza. Therefore, you have the tri-fusion of Super Buu, Cell, and Frieza in one body. Therefore, their power level would be amazing. So then you're going to have Goku and Vegeta fuse into Gogeta or something like that, and then have them go another level or so. That'd be pretty sick, Super Saiyan 3 Gogeta versus, Super Cell Frieza or whatever, like Super Cell, whatever the case may be, So I think that'd be pretty cool on that part. But I would also love to see the old enemies come back from the non-canon movies like BoJack and Broly and Super 13 and, Garlic Jr. and all that kind of stuff. I think that idea would be pretty cool. But it all depends on where they decide to go. You can't just stick it to the God Saga, because, what else are you going to do after that, So I would definitely do like a God Saga along with a reincarnation saga, like a regeneration saga, where they bring back the villains just for a little bit, and, they can just carry off from there. So, and to answer your last question, I have heard of Clash of Clans. I never really tried it out. I never even bothered to, because I'm not really too big of a cell phone, app game person, I guess you could say. The only game I have on my phone, I rarely play, and that's Balloon Pop, whatever the hell it is. You pop all those fucking balloons. But that's pretty much it. Clash of Clans, am I willing to try it? Most definitely. I mean, I don't have a problem with doing that. But I just have to set it up first and all that kind of stuff. So I really don't know what the game is about or how to work it. So Clash of Clans, all of you guys have been asking me for it, so I might as well just try it. So, but anyways, bro, thank you so much for everything that you've said. I really appreciate it. Truly, I really, really do. So I hope you have a wonderful holiday season, man, and God bless you, my friend. And now moving on to the next question, which is from Jose Duran. Hey, Alex, this is my first time I'm sending fan mail to anybody, so you should feel really special. I should, right? Because it's towards the end of the year, you know? Anyways, here we go. Question number 1. Now that you have your PS4, what is the most anticipated upcoming exclusive game so far? Mine is Infamous Second Son. Question number 2, are you a fan of Kingdom Hearts? If so, will you be doing a Let's Play on Kingdom Hearts 3? Question number 3, being a Dragon Ball Z fan, what is your honest opinion on GT? Question number 4, do you hate what they're doing with Gohan's character? I mean, in the Buu saga, he had about 10 minutes of badassery fighting Super Buu, then that was pretty much it. Gohan being my favorite character, it really bothers me. Question number 5, what were your opinions on Spike's VGX award show? I thought it was one of the worst things I've ever seen and had the displeasure of watching it. It was so shitty. Question number 6, if you were Akira Toriyama and were in the process of writing the Buu saga, what would you have done differently? Question number 7, which one of your DBZ sagas was your favorite and why? And last question, question number 8, do you feel that Vegeta should be in the next movie to defeat the main enemy? I sure as hell think so. Alright, well, thank you for the question, Jose. To answer your first question, now that I have my PS4, the PS4 is absolutely amazing. I have hosted several live streams on several PS4 games like NBA 2K14 and Killzone and Battlefield, so I think the PS4 is a significantly amazing console. In terms of most anticipated upcoming games for the PS4, I would have to say Infamous Second Son is definitely one of them. Another game that I'm really, really excited for would probably be God of War 4. Even though they did not announce it, I'm pretty sure in 2014 they're going to go on ahead and announce that, and I personally cannot wait because it's just the whole thought of, you know, God of War continuing off from where it left off in the third one, with Kratos having to drag his, you know, corpse off of the mountain and whatnot. All you saw was a trail of blood, you know, the whole story with Athena, possibly bringing in Deimos. I really cannot wait for that. That's going to be absolutely amazing. So Infamous Second Son, God of War 4, if they're planning on doing it, The Last of Us 2, because I am a huge Last of Us fan, that game really did have an immersive story, and it was just absolutely amazing. So Infamous Second Son, God of War 4, The Last of Us 2, and the final game would probably be Spyro, if they do it right, that is. But other than that, it's just those 3 games for now, and I really cannot wait. I mean, the most anticipated amongst those 3 is probably God of War, then The Last of Us 2, and then Infamous Second Son. So those would be the games that I'm truly excited for. So to answer your second question, am I a Kingdom Hearts fan? Yes, I am. I never played the second game, though, because when I was a kid, I could not afford it. But I loved the first game. I never played the second one, though. So will I be doing a Let's Play on the third one? Hopefully, yes. I was planning on doing a Kingdom Hearts Let's Play this year, or next year, should I say, in a couple of days. And if I do decide to do that, I'm definitely going to play the second game and just, you know, see what's going on with that. So am I a Kingdom Hearts fan? Yes. But like I said, I only played the first game. I never played the second one because I couldn't afford it. I watched several videos on the game, so I know what it's about, but I never played it for myself. So will I be doing a Kingdom Hearts 3? Hopefully, yes. So to answer your third question, what is my honest opinion about Dragon Ball GT? Big letdown. Big letdown. And the reason why I say it was a big letdown is because the music was shitty. The story was pretty shit. It wasn't the worst thing in the world, but it was pretty shit. The whole atmosphere with Goku being a little kid was shit. Pan was shit. Omega Shenron was shit. They could have made him a lot better. They didn't introduce an adult Gotenks. They didn't introduce a Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta. They didn't even allow Vegeta to obtain Super Saiyan 4 legitimately. Like, he had to use, you know, blood swaves. You know, that was pretty crap. Gogeta as a character was shit because he was featured, so quickly, and he didn't even do anything. All he did was toy around. So I think they could have executed him way better. Super 17 was shit. Baby was pretty good. I like the whole Baby thing. They could have done the story a little better. But I love the whole process of Super Saiyan 4 Goku versus Grade 8 Baby Vegeta. I think that was brilliant. Super Saiyan 4 Goku I liked, except there was a few things that I didn't really understand, nor did I agree with the whole process. But Dragon Ball GT could have been so much better. You guys have no idea. I'm a hardcore Dragon Ball Z fan. GT could have been a lot worse. GT could have been a lot worse. They could have made the story revolve around Pan instead of Goku. They could have done it to where Vegeta was, gone. They could have done several things, but GT, it was okay, and I say that term very loosely. Was it better than Dragon Ball Z? Hell no, not even close. But did it have its moments? Yeah, it did here and there, but not as many as Dragon Ball Z, not by a long shot. Maybe if it had Bruce Falconer music, maybe that would have made GT just that much better. But as a whole, not even close, man. Not even close. To answer your fourth question, I really hated Gohan in the Buu Saga, and this is why I say why. Because he cheated to get his powers. He did. He sat there and he had his ultimate power unlocked by an Elder Kai. Whereas Goku busted his fucking ass. Goku trained for eons to reach a Super Saiyan 3. He didn't sit there and have his ultimate powers unlocked, because that's not how Goku does things. He would much rather work hard for it than having to have something handed over to him. Same thing with Vegeta. Vegeta busted his asshole to become a Super Saiyan 2. Not even a Super Saiyan 3, but just a Super Saiyan 2. So, in the Buu Saga, Gohan had so much potential, but he let his arrogance and his pride, overshadow his battle with Buu. I think they should have kept Gohan in the mix of the fight to battle Kid Buu in the end, along with Goku and Vegeta. That would have been so amazing, Gotenks, Gohan, Vegeta, and Goku versus Kid Buu. That would have been tremendous. But Gohan did have his badassery when he fought Super Buu, but then they just flunked him from there, and I think that was pretty stupid, because why would you go through the whole process of doing that when you're just gonna flunk him out? It didn't make any sense to me. So it bothers me as well, but I hope one day they're gonna fix those mistakes. I mean, even though they might not, it is what it is at this point with Gohan. So to answer your fifth question, I didn't see the VGX awards. I heard about it, though. I heard it was pretty bad. I mean, are you really surprised? I mean, these days, VGX awards, video game awards, stuff like that, they're not what they used to be back in the day, like, where they actually revealed, brand new stuff, and they were pretty much just showcasing, some really epic things. Now it was just like, it was like, let's just do it for the money and stuff like that, and that's how pretty much they carried it out. So, I didn't really see it. I heard stuff about it. You're not the first person to approach me with that, but, I can imagine the displeasure, because I mean I wouldn't enjoy it, yeah, especially if it was that shitty, So what is my opinion on it? Just do a better job, execute with the gamer fans rather than the casual fans, and maybe you'll get somewhere. So to answer your sixth question, if I was Akira Toriyama, what would I do to change the Buu Saga? Introduce Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta. Have it to where it was Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta versus Kid Buu in the long run, in the final battle, and then having to where you're gonna have two of the strongest Saiyans battle the strongest character in that time period, and that would really push them to their limits, because Kid Buu being stronger than a Super Saiyan 3, let's see what happens when you have two Super Saiyan 3s combat such a being. So also I would have it to where I would have Vegito execute things very well. I would have it to where they didn't smash the earrings, but probably returned it to the Kais and told them to just hang on to it just in case something happens later on in the future where they need it. That would pretty much be it. I would keep the whole process with the Spirit Bomb and stuff like that. I would really spice things up with that. So. And to answer your seventh question, favorite sagas, it's a tie between Cell Saga and the Buu Saga, but I would have to say the Buu Saga for the simple fact that it was just desperation at its finest. The planet being blown up, everybody's dead, Kami's lookout being destroyed, everything just went to hell. So I would have to say the Buu Saga. The Cell Saga was significantly fair too, because it had a lot of sad moments, but I think the Buu Saga was just that much better. And to answer your 8th question, should Vegeta be the hero in the next movie or film or whatever? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I do believe that they should definitely do that because it would raise the credibility of Vegeta and it would actually allow him to have the glory for once, you know, like Vegeta deserves it. You know, if anybody deserves it, it's definitely Vegeta. So, but thank you for the question, Mr. Jose, and Happy New Year to you as well, my friend. And now moving on to the next question, which is from Game Time X. Hi, Alex. I just wanted to say, first and foremost, thank you for an amazing year. You brighten my days when I feel down and truly make me laugh. You actually inspire me. Thank you, man. I think you are better than any other YouTuber because of how cool you are. I hope you spend your New Year's well with your friends and family. You are the embodiment of all that is good in this world. Thank you, Alex. Now, here are my final questions of 2013, brother. Thank you so much, Game Time. All right, question number 1. Which fusion would win between the two? Super Buu with Omega Shenron absorbed or Baby Super Buu with Janemba absorbed? Oh, shit. Question number 2, which fusion would win between the two? Future Trunks with Ultimate Gohan Potara fusion or Goku with Vegeta Potara fusion? Another very interesting question. Question number 3, do you think they should begin a script for Freddy vs. Jason 2? With all the rumors floating around, if we get enough people to support the idea, they very well may do a sequel. Thoughts? Question number 4, what do you expect to see in Halo 5? Do you think it will come out next year around the same time as Destiny or 2016? Will it be better than Halo 4? Question 5, do you believe that a zombie apocalypse can happen today or do you think it can't but it can happen in the future? Question 6, final question, what are your thoughts on the Fast and Furious 7 reboot? Thank you so much for answering this. If you see it, Alex, God bless you and Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year to you as well, Mr. Game Time. All right, to answer your first question, that is a tough one. Given the fact that Super Buu is incredibly powerful, but Omega Shenron is the most powerful villain that has ever lived within Dragon Ball GT's time frame, and then you have the tri-fusion of Baby Super Buu and Janemba, this would actually be a tough one because you would have Super Buu Omega Shenron absorbed, whose power level would be beyond that of probably a Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. And on the other side, you have, you know, Baby Super Buu with Janemba absorbed, whose power level I believe may be as equal to as Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, or if not, greater than. So, this is kind of hard to choose from. But if these two fusions fought, I do believe that the winner would probably be Super Buu Omega Shenron absorbed. Because number one, you have all of the Shadow Dragons embodied in Omega Shenron, and given the fact that Super Buu is more powerful than a Super Saiyan 3, given the two having a fuse, that would be an incredible, fusion, and they would possess incredible power. I'm not saying that Baby Super Buu and Janemba would be any weaker, because I do believe that they would be very, 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 very close to the fusion of Super Buu and Omega Shenron, but Baby Super Buu with Janemba absorbed, that is a very good one. I really can't choose right now. If I had to pick straight off the bat, I would say Omega Super Buu. I guess that's what you're gonna call him, right? Super Buu Omega Shenron absorbed, given to the fact that Omega Shenron has all the Shadow Dragons in him, including Super Buu. So you can just imagine the level of power. I mean, it would just be through the roof. In terms of Baby Super Buu with Janemba absorbed, that would be probably the ultimate fusion. I mean, you have three of the most powerful villains ever just pretty much going at it right now, and I think that that would be an incredible battle in and of itself. But between the two, I would have to say Omega Super Buu probably, or Omega Buu, whatever you want to call him. But like I said, this would be spectacular to see. I mean, I wish they were actually to do more what if fusions, but in any given scenario, both of these fusions would be incredibly powerful. I do believe that Super Buu Omega Shenron absorbed and Baby Super Buu with Janemba absorbed will be a lot more powerful than Vegito. I do believe that they would be a lot more powerful than Gogeta, probably even more powerful than Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, you know what I mean? I think in order to stop such a being like that, you're going to have to really push, the fusion's buttons, possibly having a Super Saiyan 3, Super Saiyan 4 Vegito, and possibly introducing a Super Saiyan 5 Gogeta in order to stop these guys, you know what I mean? But definitely Omega Boo would be my pick. So to answer your second question, again, fusion. Future Trunks and Ultimate Gohan versus Vegito. Damn, that'd be a good one. Given the fact, if you're taking the Future Trunks from the Cell timeline, then I do believe that Vegito would win. If you take the Future Trunks, if he came back during the Buu saga, I would have to say probably the fusion between Future Trunks and Ultimate Gohan, given the fact that Gohan had his powers unlocked by just sitting there, so he's a lot more powerful than Super Saiyan 3. And then you have Trunks, who is supposedly a lot more powerful than Vegeta. You know, given the fact that both sons are powerful than both of the respective fathers, I would have to say the fusion of Ultimate Gohan and Trunks. But then again, Vegito is a very, very powerful character with such unique abilities. You know, I'm pretty sure whatever the fusion of Trunks and Gohan can dish out, Vegito can actually turn it around, use instant transmission, do all sorts of, you know, abilities and techniques that the fusion of Trunks and Gohan cannot. Like the final Kamehameha, the Big Bang Kamehameha, whatever it is they feel like doing, they can actually do it. Can you imagine if Vegito created a Spirit Bomb? Like that would be the end of Trunks / Gohan. So it would be very interesting to see. Especially having a three-way battle, you know, the fusion of Future Trunks and Ultimate Gohan versus the fusion of Goku and Vegeta versus the fusion of Little Goten and Little Trunks, you know, like that would be crazy. But I think Ultimate Gohan and Future Trunks, if it were the Future Trunks from the Majin Buu timeline, if it were the Cell timeline, then I still stick with Vegito, because Vegito is such a powerful character. I mean, Vegito possesses abilities that no other character can, you know, even fathom. So I would have to say that's what it would come down to. So to answer your third question, do I think they should begin a script? Yes. You know, pretty much Michael Bay and everybody has pretty much announced a Friday the 13th Part 2. I made a video on that a couple of weeks ago for those of you out there who haven't already saw that, explaining in detail what's going to happen, when the release date is looking like. So I'm actually really happy that they're going on ahead to make another movie. I think that they should really make a Freddy versus Jason 2, especially with today's technology, with today's, you know, CGI and whatnot. It's absolutely amazing, and it's only going to get better. So why not, you know, open up those doors and do something different for a change? You know, make a sequel, because a lot of us want to see a sequel. A lot of us want to see Freddy and Jason do battle one more time, perhaps having Ash in it from Evil Dead with the Book of the Dead, or if not, incorporate Ash, incorporate Michael Myers, you know, having it take place before Halloween with Jamie Lee Curtis's death. You know, like stuff like that would be very interesting to see. And I'm a huge horror fan, guys. I'm a huge horror fan. I love Paranormal Activity 1. I love Wrong Turn. I love Michael Myers movies, Halloween's. I love Friday the 13th. I love stuff like that. You know what I mean? Quarantine and Wreck. You know, The Conjuring and Insidious. I'm a huge horror fan. So from a horror fan's perspective, I would love to see this, because I think it would be very interesting to see, given the fact that it's been, what, almost 10 plus years since these two have waged war. So that would be so awesome to see. You know, 10 years later, you know, 11 years later, 12 years later, these characters are back finally, and they're about to, like, duke it out one more time. You know, the story can be rich and deep, especially having Robert Englund play as Freddy Krueger again. That would be incredibly awesome, you know what I mean? So, do I think it's a good idea? Abso-freaking-lutely. If we can get enough people, of course. So, for those of you out there who are supportive of this idea, leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Leave your comments on what you would want to see in the comment section below, and I promise you, we're going to get this through. I mean, there's no way we're not, right? So, to answer your fourth question, what do I expect in Halo 5? Well, number one, do I think it's going to be better than Halo 4? Abso-freaking-lutely. It better be better than Halo 4. What do I expect to see? I expect the company to take notes of Titanfall, take notes of Battlefield, take notes of Destiny, and build yourself a beast of a game. You know, build Halo 5 the way it should be. Halo 5 should be the ultimate game. Halo 5 should be the embodiment of a first-person shooter, because that's where it all technically began. A lot of people might say, oh, it began in Counter-Strike, it began here, there. But technically, for the console era, it began with Halo. So I think if it's going to end, it should just end off with Halo being number one in terms of first-person shooters. Because Call of Duty pretty much fell off the shelf. Battlefield is now the new king for me. And now you have Destiny rolling around the corner. You have Titanfall. You have so many other games coming out. Possibly Gears of War 4, all that kind of stuff. So do I think it's going to come around the same time as Destiny? Perhaps. I could definitely see a window launch of 2014 for Halo 5. But perhaps they're going to hold it off. And they might do a transition to where it might come out in 2015. I think that would be a great idea. You're saying 2016. I think that's a very long time to be counting. But if not 2014, then definitely 2015 is the window launch for Halo 5. What do I expect to see? I expect to see the Didac return, which is like the main enemy. I expect to see the Prometheans return. I expect to see a lot more from the Halo franchise, including possibly seeing the Arbiter and the Elites return, helping out Master Chief or whatnot. So I really have high hopes for Halo 5, and I really can't wait, because Halo 5 should be the embodiment of a first-person shooter. So to answer your fifth question, do I believe a zombie apocalypse can happen today, or do I believe it can't, but it can happen in the future? I do believe that an actual zombie apocalypse where people can go off and eat each other to death, I think it's possible, and it's not possible today. And for the simple fact that, yeah, there are contagions out there and viruses and, funguses and all sorts of stuff like that can actually manipulate the host to doing certain things. But unless it's, engineered by humans, then I know. If it's like a Mother Nature sort of thing, then no, I don't believe something like that exists. I do believe that it might be genetically engineered by humans, by scientists, by the government or whatever. But can it happen today? I do believe it can, in a sense. But it all really depends on the situation. It depends on how far we have gone in the medicine world, and I'm pretty sure we have found cures to cancers and tumors and AIDS and all that kind of stuff. But they don't want to give that out to the public, because they're scared of losing money in the pharmaceutical department. So a zombie apocalypse, I do believe it can happen today. With them having like these viruses and whatnot that we don't even know about. But could it happen in the future? Absolutely. I mean, why do I have like that gut feeling that it will? At least one day it will. But I mean, a lot of people are saying, oh, it's just science fiction. But we've seen in 28 weeks later and 28 days later that the rabies virus, if you mix that in with a virus or some sort, it can create a very catastrophic result. And that's what pretty much 28 days later and 28 weeks later was the rabies virus, mutating and just causing the host to just go bananas, eating people and just beating people and whatnot. It was a horror fest. So do I believe it can happen? Yeah, but I wouldn't want to see it happen anytime soon, because that would be truly the end of everything we know. Legitimately, I mean, there's no way of just refuting that. So. And to answer your final question, my thoughts on Fast and Furious 7, or at least the Fast and Furious reboot. Rest in peace, Paul Walker. From my knowledge, he was a great guy. A lot of people spoke highly of him. His father spoke highly of him. Tyrese spoke highly of him. Vin Diesel did. Michelle Rodriguez, The Rock. So, I mean, it's going to suck, because Paul Walker was a huge part of the Fast and Furious franchise, and he was a huge part of my little childhood, because I remember going to see Fast and Furious for the first time. I was like, wow, this is a pretty cool movie. My friends were actually playing pretend. They were like, yeah, I want to be like Brian O'Connor, and the first movie had a great story, an undercover cop, doing all sorts of stuff, in order to get inside and find out some more information and whatnot. And then you had the second movie, Tokyo Drift, Fast and Furious, Fast 5, Fast 6, so Fast 7. I think Fast 7 should be the end of the Fast and Furious franchise if they want to go that route, you know what I mean? But in terms of a reboot, do I think it's a good idea? I mean, shit. Eventually, ladies and gentlemen, they will do a reboot. Eventually. I mean, that's how all movies are. They rebooted Spider-Man. They rebooted a lot of movies, Godzilla, RoboCop, so all these movies that we're getting now, guys, we're gonna get them again, later on down the road in the future. We're gonna get a reboot. I mean, is it a good thing or a bad thing? That all depends on the movie itself, but in terms of a Fast and Furious reboot, I would not want to see a reboot, because that is just so near and dear to my childhood that it wouldn't be the same, especially having a new cast and a new story. I really don't think it'd be the same. So, but thank you for the questions, Mr. Game Time, and Happy New Year, brother! And now, moving on to the next question, which is from Sane Gamer from Earth. Man, Alex, I've been such a long-time subscriber. I've sent fan mail before, but I'm back, and I hope this time around you get to answering these. Alright, here we go. Question number 1. If DBZ Fall of Men was to put into theaters, how would you approach on taking it down? Question number 2. What do you think of Brian Griffin getting killed off in Family Guy? Question number 3. What is the craziest video game crossover you can think of? Question number 4. What do you think will happen in the Walking Dead Tall Tale game series season 2? Question 5. What would you do if Chucky the doll was hunting you down? Question 6. If you could have had a collaboration video with any YouTuber besides the people you already know, like Sean and Paul, who would it be? Question number 7. Would you like it if the Dragon Ball Z Heroes arcades machines were brought back to America? If you or anyone else watching this video doesn't know what I mean, then let me tell you, it's an arcade machine where you collect cards to use those characters and play the game. It kind of sounds similar to Genkai in a sense, because I remember seeing a bunch of arcade games in Japan. But anyways, and the final question, what if character would you incorporate into a canon DBZ story? So what character would I incorporate in the actual manga? Let's see. P.S. Thank you for your time, and thank you for all the content you produce for all of your fans. God bless you, P.S.S. When you reach stardom, because I know you will, remember to thank us all. I always thank you guys, and thank you so much, man. To answer your first question, the Dragon Ball Z Fall of Men, if it were to hit theaters, there's no reason to take it down because it would take itself down. The movie would not, appeal to any of the hardcore fans, number 1. Number 2, the only people that would go off and see this film would be casual fans, like regular Joes that just have nothing to do. I'm pretty sure they would go off and see a film like that, but I certainly wouldn't. I mean, I stood home when Dragon Ball Evolution came out. I didn't even bother to go see it because it was that, horrible to me. And I didn't even watch it when it came out on DVD or anything like that. I didn't bother downloading it or nothing because it was that, shitty of a film. So I did not care for that. And I'm pretty sure I'm not going to care for Fall of Men unless, of course, they have a few sequences and, scenes where I would be very interested in looking at, because let's say, for example, they have Perfect Cell versus Gohan, or Perfect Cell versus Goku, or Perfect Cell versus Future Trunks. I want to see how exactly they would play off the, CGI and the fighting mechanics and whatnot. But other than that, I mean, Dragon Ball Z Fall of Men is going to be shit. Whoever's directing the film, I mean, really, I feel really bad because, I mean, I understand that they're trying to put their hearts and souls into this, but some movies aren't meant to just be created in, real time. So, as for Dragon Ball Z Fall of Men, don't really care for it, and I'm not going to go see it, so... to answer your second question, what do I think of Brian getting killed? Well, as you guys saw, Brian is not really dead. But the only reason why I feel like they killed Brian off is because they wanted ratings. Ratings equals, great television, and personally, I think the only reason why they did that is because, number 1, the voice actor behind Brian was originally supposed to go and film Ted 2. Along with ratings, I mean, I think this ultimately comes down to ratings, because why else would they want to kill off one of the most important characters in the entire show? It makes no sense. When I found out, Brian Griffin, quote unquote, died in the TV show, I was like, really? Why? Did something happen with the voice actor? Did they not come to an understanding in the back? Was he a breach of contract? Did he do something wrong? That's why they're kicking him off. I mean, I didn't really understand it, but the whole shabacle is the voice actor behind Brian Griffin was originally supposed to go film Ted 2, and I really don't know what the hell's going on. So, I think it ultimately comes down to ratings, to be honest. I mean, why else would they do that? It makes no sense. So, to answer your third question, what is the craziest video game crossover I can think of? Gears of War meets Halo, Halo meets Gears of War. Can you imagine how awesome that would be? Locust fighting alongside Prometheans, Locust fighting alongside Elites. to take on the COD and, Master Chief and, the UNSC, and that'd be pretty cool to see Master Chief and Marcus Phoenix working together. Then again, they can always do a 3-way battle, the humans and the survivors and the Marines versus, the Locust versus the elites. Or they can do the Lambent affecting the elite. Can you imagine if that were to happen, like if the Lambent were to get hold of the elite, and therefore just mutating them into just being these devious, power-hungry monsters and stuff like that? Because we all saw what happened when the Lambent infected the Locust. I mean, it was just really serious. They literally transformed, Brumax into 50-foot, 100-foot, killers, and it was all sorts of stuff. So I think a Gears of War / Halo crossover would be amazing to see, especially having, Arbiter to work with the COG, and, you have Marcus Phoenix, and you have, Dom, but it all depends on when it takes place. If it's before Dom's death, after Dom's death, before the Queen's death, what really goes down, but I think that'd be pretty cool. Another cool crossover, I think, would be between probably Digimon and Pokemon. The first season of Digimon, actually, and the regular TV Pokemon, because number one, I mean, they're both similar in a sense, especially the first season of Digimon, where the Digidestined actually had their own Digimon to like rely on and stuff like that for battle, just like trainers like Ash, he has Pikachu to count on, and pretty much same thing goes for the Digimon guys. They have their own little Digimon to count on. So I think that'd be pretty cool for the Pokemon and Digimon to work together, or if not, battle against one another. Can you imagine if it was Charizard versus War Greymon? If it was like, Mewtwo versus Metal Garurumon? If it was, Piedmon versus Venusaur and stuff like that? I think a crossover like that would be pretty cool, having to have two different universes collide with one another to see which one was best, But other than those two, I would say one more would probably be Dragon Ball Z and Naruto, because everybody always wanted to see that, especially with Itachi and all that, and you have Naruto and Sasuke, then you have Vegeta, Goku, Gohan, you have all these villains and characters like Broly and Cell and Kid Buu and all that stuff. And I think having a Naruto versus Dragon Ball Z death battle would be amazing, because you have the Nine Tails versus the Great Ape, you have Super Saiyan 3 Goku versus a full powered Naruto. It would be really, really cool to see. So I think those crossovers for those three respective franchises that I spoke about would be very, very unique in my opinion. So to answer your fourth question, The Walking Dead Telltale Games Season 2, I finished off the first season, and it was just absolutely amazing. It was sad, and it actually spoke volumes on, how everything came to be and whatnot, especially in the game. So I never really played 300 Nights or 300 Days or something like that. I never really played that Walking Dead game at all, so I don't have any knowledge about it. But what I do know is that hopefully The Walking Dead Season 2 will be very, very good, and I hope that it's going to continue off the first story with Clementine, all that kind of stuff. So I have high hopes for it. So, and I'm a huge Walking Dead fan right now. I'm about to actually replay the entire series all over again. That's how much of a fan I am. So. But personally, for me, we're just going to have to wait and see. I believe it comes out next year, so let's just see how that happens. To answer your fifth question, if Chucky was after me, what would I do? I mean, number one, I would not be afraid of Chucky. I'm not Paul. I'm not scared of fucking Chucky the doll. If Chucky came at me with a knife, I would probably laugh at first, and then right when he got near me, I would kick that little shit so hard in the face. Like, you have no idea how much the pain would be on his face. Like, I would literally, like, powerbomb Chucky, like, through a freaking table full of fire. Like, I would not be afraid of that little shithead, it's just a doll. That doll is not bigger than my knees, it's probably, like, smaller, you know what I mean? So, Chucky, the good guy doll, I would not be afraid of it whatsoever. So the first thing I would do is I would actually rip Chucky's arms off. I mean, literally, I would have fun beating the shit out of him. To answer your sixth question, what collaboration video would I love to do with a big YouTuber besides Paul and Sean? I would love to do a collaboration with PewDiePie. I think he's absolutely amazing. But PewDiePie, I think he's great. I think another person that I would love to do a collaboration with would probably be... Well, there are a few, but PewDiePie is definitely one of them. I would love to see how it would be like to do a collaboration video with somebody like T. Martin. I think that would be really interesting rather than cool, because I would love to see his points of views on things. But aside from that, just those two really, especially PewDiePie. I freaking and if there was actually another person that doesn't revolve around gaming, I would probably do a collaboration with BF versus GF. I think those two are just classic people on YouTube, and they're awesome. Jesse's awesome, and I would love to do a collaboration video with him. And I remember watching their videos and whatnot. It's absolutely inspiring. So BF versus GF, PewDiePie, and probably T. Martin, but that's just a hit or miss right there. To answer your 7th question, I would actually love that, but if they were to bring those back, I mean, how many people would truly play them? You know what I mean? Not that many. Because, I mean, not that many people play arcades these days. You know, everybody's at home, you know, on their phones, going out, doing all sorts of stuff. You know, I mean, it's very, very rare to find somebody playing some arcades, especially in today's day and age. So, I mean, I would love it, because I would probably be the only one, you know, playing it. But, excuse me, I just had a hiccup right there, my God. But I would probably be the only one playing it. But I would love to see it, you know what I mean? Like Dragon Ball Heroes, like that would be pretty cool to see, like a whole bunch of what if characters and whatnot. That would be very, very cool for me. So, and to answer your last question, what characters would I incorporate into the series as being canon? Probably all of them. I mean, I don't see why not. I mean, I would have a solo story based on Broly alone. Because I feel like he is a very interesting character. Aside from him, I would resurrect Janemba and put him in the series again. You know, like I would do all the characters. I really don't see why they shouldn't make them canon. I mean, they're relevant, right? I mean, those are characters in and of itself. So why would you not want to make Cooler relevant, and you know, BoJack canon, and Broly canon, and Harudagon canon? It'll make a lot of sense. It'll actually tell a better story than what it would if they weren't canon. And personally, for me, I mean, we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens in the future with Akira Toriyama, if he decides to continue, which I really hope he does, because if not, I will be truly disappointed. But anyways, Mr. Saiyan Gamer from Earth, thank you for the questions, and I hope you have a great New Year's, my friend. A great New Year's, my friend. Once again, moving on to the next question, which is from, wow, how ironic, Saiyan Gamer, but this one's not from Earth. Hey, Alex, this is my first time sending fan mail, and I would like to say that you are the best YouTuber. Thank you, my friend. I really respect you a lot. Keep up the good work, man. Now on to the questions. Thank you so much, my friend. I really appreciate that. Question number 1. Who do you think would last longer with builds? Super Vegito or Super Gogeta? Question number 2. Who do you think will win? SS2 Teen Gohan or Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta? Question number 3. Do you think there will be another Left 4 Dead game? Question number 4. Do you know the game DayZ? It's a zombie game. Those are all my questions. I hope you answered them, and thank you for everything. And as I said, keep up the good work, and God bless. God bless you as well, Mr. Saiyan Gamer. To answer your first question, who would last longer? Holy shit, that'd be a good, I mean, I would love to see both of them fight Bills. I mean, not at the same time, obviously, but separate time periods. I mean, you have the Stardust Breaker and the final Kamehameha versus the Big Bang Kamehameha, along with some other really unique stuff. I mean, I think the person that would last the longest would probably be Super Vegito. I think Gogeta would put up a decent fight, but I think Gogeta would get beat out of his fusion. That's just my personal take. I mean, I would love to see it go down, but that's just my take. I can definitely see Goku and Vegeta doing that first, and then Goku looking at, you know, Vegeta and saying, listen, we can't beat him in the regular fusion. Let's try the Potara earrings. And then Vegeta's like, fuck it, let's just do it. And then they do it. They enter as Vegito, and Vegito would get beat down as well. I mean, that's my personal take on it. I think Vegito would get beat severely. I mean, granted, Vegito is powerful, but Bills would beat the shit out of Vegito, like real bad. I mean, I would love to see it, and then you know, maybe they can resort to something else. But in terms of those two, I mean, the Potara earring is proven to be stronger, but I think Gogeta is more of a serious fighter than Vegito is, because Vegito likes to toy around a lot. And I mean, I really don't know, because both fighters are just experts at what they do. You know, I mean, Gogeta took out Janemba without even trying, and Super Vegito pretty much proved that he was indestructible when he fought the most powerful character in the universe at the time. So I would have to say Super Vegito, but Bills would annihilate both of them, even if it was 2-on-1, even if somehow it was both Gogeta and Vegito against, you know, Bills would smash them so easy. Bills is just beyond anything you can imagine. He is that strong. Bills is a beast, you know, so I would have to say Vegito would last the longest. To answer your second question, I do believe the winner of this little shabacle between SS2 Gohan and SS2 Vegeta would probably be Vegeta. It's already proven by Piccolo when Vegeta fought Majin Buu that Vegeta was way more powerful than Gohan was when Gohan fought Cell. So given the state of mind, I think Vegeta would win, knowing that, you know, his power level is far beyond that of Gohan to a certain extent. But then again, we don't really know how mad Gohan would get and maybe ascend even further, you know, while he's fighting Vegeta. I do believe Super Saiyan 2 Gohan would give Vegeta a run for his money, and I do believe Vegeta would give Gohan a run for his money. But in the end, I do believe that's going to be Vegeta. Vegeta's going to emerge the victor because Vegeta, he fights without emotion, you know. He fights you to beat you, and that's it. He doesn't fight you to test you like Goku does. He doesn't fight you to, you know, make you give up. He literally, you know, wants to fight you until you die. So, and I think if this was a very serious case, I think Vegeta would fight Gohan to the death. So I think Vegeta would win this. To answer your third question, will there be another Left 4 Dead game? Yeah, it was already confirmed. Left 4 Dead 3 and Half-Life 3. So Left 4 Dead 3 will be coming out. I mean, we don't know when exactly, but it is confirmed. It was confirmed by IGN, Yahoo, Game Informer. Well, not really Game Informer. Excuse me. Game Planet and Game Trailers. I mean, I saw articles, I saw pictures, and pretty much to me it looks like a confirmation. So there will be another Left 4 Dead game. How will it be based on? I really don't know. I mean, we all know it's going to be for the Xbox One and PC. But Left 4 Dead 3. I'm really expecting a lot, to be honest, like, because the first two are so great, but I think the third one really has to push the buttons, especially with hardcore fans. So, will there be another Left 4 Dead game? Yes, there will be. So, and to answer your last question, I do know about DayZ. I've heard of it. I've known about it for a long time. I haven't played it. I don't know how to get my hands on it. I don't know where to purchase it because everywhere I went, they didn't have the copy of it. So, I would really, really, really love to play DayZ because I'm a huge, huge zombie lover and I love zombies. And, you know, getting my hands on that would be amazing. You know, I've played, you know, State of Decay. I've played The Last of Us, Resident Evil. I've played so many zombie games, Left 4 Dead and all that kind of stuff. So I would love to play DayZ. You know what I mean? Like, it just gives me a reminder of all the classic zombie movies. So for me personally, I would love to see where I can get my hands on it so I can play it. But I do know about the game, and I've heard good things about the game. So let's just see what happens. But thank you for the questions, Mr. Saiyan Gamer. I hope you have a wonderful New Year's, my friend. Once again, moving on to the next question, which is from hello, Alex. How are you doing? I'm doing very, very well. I'm really excited that the new year is just about coming up. So how are you doing? I love your videos, and I'm always disappointed when you don't upload. Well, I mean, I'm sorry. I'm only human, man. All right, here we go. Let's get on with the questions. Question number 1. Do you know who these 3 people are? David Beckham, Messi, and Cristiano Ronaldo, and they are the best current soccer players ever. Question 2. What do you think about Justin Timberlake? In my opinion, he is the best musician ever. Wow, that's a very bold statement there, buddy. Question 3, why don't you ever use Facecam? Question 4, did you hear about Nelson Mandela's demise? He was a very important man of our time. Thank you for all that you have done for us, and certainly you are a saint. Thank you, my friend. I am not a saint. I wish I was. We all make mistakes, but really, God bless you. Thank you so much for the humble words. And let's get on with the questions. To answer your first question, I know who David Beckham is, but I don't know who the other 2 are. You're saying that they're soccer players, so there you have it. I don't really know who the other 2 are. I know about David Beckham, and I feel like David Beckham is the greatest of all time. And in terms of soccer players, I don't really follow up too much with soccer players, given the fact that I fell off the soccer bandwagon for quite a while now. But I do know about David Beckham, but I don't know about the other two. So to answer your second question, what do I think about Justin Timberlake? You think he's the best musician ever. So does that mean he's better than Michael Jackson? Does that mean he's better than any other artist right now in terms of rap, hip-hop, R&B, rock, metal, pop, soul, country, jazz? I mean, that's a very, very bold statement. I would have to agree that Justin Timberlake is one of the best musicians out there. He's not the best in my opinion, but he's definitely in the top 10 range, because that guy can definitely produce and make great music. And Justin Timberlake, nobody really believed in him back when he was coming up, and a lot of you guys know that, because when he was first coming up, he was a part of a boy band, then he broke out, and then nobody really heard from him since, and then he finally reintroduced himself, and he came out with some great songs, then more great music, and then more great music. And I think Justin Timberlake deserves credit where credit is due. But is he the best ever? I don't really know where I stand on that, because Justin Timberlake is an incredible musician. He's certainly better than half the cats out there now. So, in my opinion, Justin Timberlake is a phenomenal man. He is a phenomenal artist, and I respect his music, and I love his music. And I think we're going to be expecting a lot from him in 2014. To answer your third question, why don't I ever use Facecam? Well, for the simple fact that sometimes I forget. When I'm playing a game or whatnot, I just get so drawn within the game that I forget, you know what I mean? And on several occasions, I have done several face cams. Some of you guys might be new subscribers. Some of you guys might be hardcore old subscribers. But I hate using that word by it, because you all are my friends. You know, like that's just the way I see you guys. I see all of you guys as my bros, as my friends, and I have done face cams before. Just trying to think real quick. I've done face cams for Slender. I know I've done one other face cam before. I'm just trying to remember what game it was. But I will be going back, and I am going to be playing some of my old games that I've been playing for quite a while now on my channel, such as Silent Hill Downpour, and perhaps redoing some What If battles for Dragon Ball Z, perhaps. So a lot more coming your way, especially in 2014. I'm probably going to put out double the videos that I do now. I mean, as you guys already saw, in December, I put out so many freaking videos per day. It's taking a toll on me, but I love what I do. So, will I ever be using face cams again? Absolutely. We're just gonna have to wait and see on that one. And to answer your last question, Nelson Mandela, truly an important man. He was a man who believed in civil liberty. He was a man that believed in equality. He was a man that believed in human rights. And he was an activist, and I love Nelson Mandela for standing against the corporations, for standing against slavery, for standing against tyranny and oppression and, you know, totalitarianism and all that kind of stuff. And I really applaud the man for what he's done, you know. Some people are saying that he might be greater than Martin Luther King, you know, and that's a very bold statement, you know, because Nelson Mandela was born in a very, very small village in Africa, and for him to come up and make a big change like that is phenomenal. He was locked away in jail for about 30, 40, 50 years, I believe, something like that. He was in prison for quite a while, you know, all because he was accused of treason and all that kind of stuff. But then again, the government accuses everybody of treason these days, which sucks a lot, because you're affecting a lot of people's lives. You know, for those people who are standing up for civil liberties and whatnot, you're accusing them of treason and whatnot. It's just, it's ridiculous, you know. But for him, when he got freed in the 90s, it was a big thing going on, you know. And for him to pass away at the age of 95, I believe, it's quite sad. But, you know, his time was coming anyway. I mean, he was 95 years old. I mean, don't expect him to live to 1,000, you know. Everybody's gonna die. You're gonna die. I'm gonna die. Your favorite YouTubers are going to die. Your favorite actors are going to die. Look at that. Paul Walker died at the age of 40. People are going to die. You know, people die. That's just the role of life, you know, and it's just what matters most is the legacy that people leave behind. You know, Paul Walker's legacy, Nelson Mandela's legacy, you know, people's legacy that will always be remembered through the test of time, you know. So that's why I hope one day when I die in the far future that my legacy is remembered. Same thing goes for you guys. When you guys die, I hope your legacy is remembered, you know. So Nelson Mandela's legacy will live on forever in the history books. He was criticized for being an activist because he wanted everybody to be equal and free. And even till this day, it's sad to say that slavery does exist. It may not be physical slavery, it may not be racist slavery, but we're all slaves. All of us are slaves. I don't care if you're black watching this. I don't care if you're white watching this. I don't care if you're Mexican, Asian, Spanish. I don't care who you are. We're all slaves. I'm a slave. We're all slaves. And do you want to know what we're slaves for? We're not slaves to white people. We're not slaves to black people. We're slaves to the system, to the oppressive system. We're slaves to an oppressive, totalitarian, socialist government, you know? And it's not just the government, it's the world elite, you know, we are enslaved by simple things, commercials and ads, and simple cars and cell phones, and money and women and men and clubs. You know, like certain things get somebody riled up, you know, and they tend to, you know, forget about the bigger picture in life. And Nelson Mandela pretty much spoke out and said you have to open up your mind, open up your eyes, and look past all the toys. Look past the cars and the money and the women and the booze and the drugs. Look past all that. Look past about if you're black or white. Just be free, be humble, get an education, and just don't be oppressed, you know, like, and he was preaching that to his people, you know, in Africa. And you know, I applaud Nelson Mandela for what he did, and may God rest his soul. So, thank you for the questions, my good sir. I hope you have a wonderful New Year's, and I hope you have a wonderful holiday season, my friend. And now, moving on to the next question, which is from Super Darkstar 96. Hey, Alex, back again. Hope you had a good holiday Christmas just around the corner. Gotta get that shopping done. So now on to the questions. Here we go. Question number 1. When you wrestle, what type of match suits you, as in tables, chairs, and etc.? Have you ever been in those certain types of matches? Question 2. Do you ever want to be in a TLC match? Question 3. Don't you think Hollywood should give Batman and Superman movies a break after the Superman vs. Batman movie for 2015 and start making other DC movies like Teen Titans? That's a very interesting question. Question number 4. Which WWE superstar or Hall of Famer would you like to be your mentor? Good question once again. Question number 5. Is it me or did this year went by fast? Oh, hell yeah. Question 6. Don't you think it's funny that Goku has touched/harassed Bulma and saw her naked when they were kids and has not told Yamcha or Vegeta about it? Oh, man. Like, imagine if he did, especially Vegeta. Holy shit. Question number 7. Did you know that Capcom might be going out of business? They have $152 million in the bank, and that's not a good sign, and might gonna have to give away their franchises like Mega Man and etc. Question number 8. Do you think Capcom should finish the Mega Man franchise before their doors closed, as in making Mega Man X9 and 10? Question number 9. Ever thought of getting a gaming PC? Question 10. Would you ever play Amnesia: The Dark Descent? Ooh, good question. Question number 11. Did you know that the Justice League movie is announced and set for 2017? Probably they'll start right after the Batman vs. Superman movie is out in theaters. Question 12. Do you think Hollywood should stop making movies based on video games? They have Metal Gear Solid and Assassin's Creed on the list. That's a very interesting question in and of itself. Question number 13, save the best for last. Here we go. Since GT is not canon, but Pan is a canon character, but we see her growing up in GT Saga, so pretty much everything we know about Pan is not true. If Akira Toriyama does make a new Dragon Ball Z series with the other gods, he can also change Pan's personality, making her much serious and train hard, and might become a Super Saiyan during the new series. What do you think? Well, those are all my questions for now. I hope you have a chance to answer this and read them on your fan mail. Have a good holiday season and the rest of 2013, and I hope 2014 will be a great year for you and all of us. God bless you, man. P.S. Godzilla 2014. P.S.S. Paul can be in a blizzard with a squid for all I care, cutting the squid's guts in order to stay warm. Hiroshima. P.S.S.S.S. Bill's destroying planets for pudding. That's true. P.S.S.S.S.S.X. Feeling worn out of work? Call 1-800-SensuBean. I wish that was real. I would have like a lifetime subscription. And last but not least, happy holidays, everybody. Happy holidays to you as well. my friend Super Darkstar 96. Now let's get on with the questions. To answer your first question, when I wrestle, what match pretty much suits me the most? Have I ever been in a tables or chairs match or a ladder match? No. I would like to be a part of a tables match or a chairs match or a ladder match or a cage match or stuff like that. I mean, I wouldn't have a problem with that. But what type of match best suits me? It can be any match, really. It can be a singles match. It could be a tag team match. It can be in a tag team elimination match. It could be a battle royal. It could be a giant Royal Rumble. It can be a hardcore match. It could be a submission match. It could be a stretcher match. It doesn't really matter to me as long as I'm in that ring. And once that switch is flipped, man, I am a whole nother person. When I'm in that squared circle, I am a different person. So what match pretty much suits me the most? I would have to say a singles match, sort of say. Doesn't matter what kind of match in and of itself, as long as it's a singles match. I would also prefer tag team matches, but I am more of a singles kind of guy, so I would love to have a singles type matchup, to be honest. In terms of other matches such as tables matches and whatnot, I would not have a problem. I would love to do that, and hopefully in 2014 I will have a lot more wrestling matches to be doing than I did in 2013. And for those of you out there who haven't already done so, please go on ahead and check out my second channel. It's called Evolution Chronicles. On there you're gonna find all my workouts, you're gonna find my wrestling matches, and hopefully you guys are gonna be entertained, you guys are gonna enjoy, because it's a fun sport. I mean, I love what I do. So to answer your second question, have I ever wanted to be a part of a TLC match? Hell yeah. I mean, I think that would be pretty cool to be a part of a TLC match, whether it be a triple threat match, whether it be a tag team TLC match, whether it be a singles TLC match. I would love to be a part of that, you know, because I feel like as a professional wrestler, you know, coming up on the East Coast, I would love to partake in one of those matches just to have on my resume. So I would not mind it whatsoever. I mean, I would love to be a part of that, you know. And for those of you out there that are watching this and that are hearing the sound of my voice, if there is any local independent wrestling shows around you can just let me know in the inbox section, and it would be much greatly appreciated. And I mean, you never know, you might end up seeing me, so you know that'd be pretty cool to interact with you guys in person. So to answer your third question, do I think Hollywood should give up on the Batman Superman franchise? I really don't think so, for the simple fact that they're going to include Flash in the upcoming Superman movie along with Wonder Woman, so that's going to be very, very interesting to see, especially how they're all going to, you know, have their own cameos and whatnot. In terms of Teen Titans, they're not going to do Teen Titans for a while. I feel like they're more focused on Superman, Batman, Martian Manhunter, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, The Flash. I feel like they're more focused on that and the Justice League than Teen Titans right now. So do I think they should stop? I really don't think so, because Man of Steel made a lot of money. You know, the latest Batman movie, The Dark Knight Rises, made a lot of money, and now this movie, the Batman and Superman movie in 2015, is going to make a lot of money, because you're going to have both Batman and Superman within, you know, the same movie. So that's just going to generate a lot of revenue for the company, you know. What do I think they should start doing with the Batman Superman franchise? I think they ought to, you know, start grouping together what they want to do, like Marvel already has 3 phases ready, you know, just in case. They have phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. They already completed phase 1. We're entering phase 2, and in a couple of years we're going to be entering phase 3. Now, nobody knows if they're going to do phase 4, 5, and 6, which means Avengers 4, 5, and 6, but at this point, I'm really looking forward to the Avengers 2. Like, I really, really am. Like, desperately. And the Batman Superman movie as well. I mean, that movie is going to be amazing because it just sparks your curiosity. But in terms of DC films like Teen Titans, I really don't see them making that for a while, to be honest. So to answer your fourth question, well, my mentors right now are Brian XL and Amazing Red, and I cannot be any more proud to have them as trainers and as friends, along with other trainers as well, like Jay Lethal and Matt Stryker and Loki and all these people. Like, I am truly humbled that they are my mentors and my teachers. But if I had to choose a WWE wrestler or Hall of Famer, I would probably go with Shawn Michaels, because he's been my childhood hero when I was growing up, for wrestling and whatnot. And I feel like Shawn Michaels would be like the perfect trainer for me, because he would train me, in every aspect, in terms of psychology, in terms of in-ring stuff, in terms of everything. So Shawn Michaels would definitely be one of them. Another person that I would love to be my mentor, in terms of a Hall of Famer, would probably be Bret Hart as well. But I really doubt that Bret Hart would ever, train an outsider, sort of say, especially having to come from Stu's Dungeon, I mean, up there in Canada, they really had it rough, so, Shawn Michaels definitely. Bret Hart is another person. But if not Bret Hart, if Bret Hart was not available or just willing to do that, then I would have to say another person that I would love to train with would probably be Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan is a excellent wrestler, the perfect wrestler, and I feel like when he's in that ring, he can definitely craft and do things that nobody else can, and that's what makes Daniel Bryan, and I absolutely love Daniel Bryan, and I would love to have him as a mentor, having him train me and teach me all the, crazy stuff and whatnot. And it's not like, Red doesn't do that, because he definitely does, but you're saying WWE guys, and I would have to say Daniel Bryan, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, Ric Flair. I would love that. I would love Ric Flair to train me. I mean, that would be freaking awesome, I can imagine the chops and how painful they can be, but Ric Flair is definitely another person, but those are just some of the few I can just think of on top of my head right now, to be honest. So to answer your fifth question, yes, this year went by so fast. It probably didn't go by as fast as 2012 did, per se, but this year went by fucking fast. This year just fucking flew right by. I mean, it was a very interesting year, it wasn't perfect, because obviously you have 12 months, you have 365 days, and within that 365 days, good things can happen and bad things can happen, and certainly a lot of great things have happened in my life this year, and a lot of bad things as well. I can't really, discredit that, but this year went by really, really fast. Trust me, it's not just you. To me, it feels like last year went by even quicker, but this year went oh my god, this year just went whizzing right by. I mean, I remember going from my birthday, and then now it's December. I mean, it's about to be New Year's, for God's sakes, in a few days, and my birthday's in about 2 weeks. My god, I can't believe it. I'm turning 22. What a hell, January 11th. But it definitely went by fast, so I would have to agree. To answer your sixth question, can you imagine if Goku just walked up to the Vegeta? I mean, fuck Yamcha, nobody really cares about Yamcha, but Vegeta, Goku coming up to him and just be like, hey, I saw your wife naked and I was, touching and harassing her when I was a kid. Vegeta would go off. Vegeta would probably become a Super Saiyan 12 and murder Goku right there. It would be really funny if Goku got really drunk one night and came up to everybody, especially Vegeta, and told him about the story. Like, hey, Vegeta, you fucking prince, I was the one that soiled your wife when I was a kid. Can you imagine Vegeta's reaction? He would probably go ape shit to the point where he would blow up the entire planet. I mean, I definitely would if that was my freaking wife. And Vegeta, you can tell he loves her, but he doesn't want to admit it, and you can tell that he protects her, especially in Battle of Gods when Bills slapped her. I mean, Vegeta just went ape shit. He tried to defend her so much of his own will, he got beat down for it, but I respect Vegeta a lot, and for Goku to do that as a kid, I mean, he didn't know any better, till this day, I'm still curious of him and if Goku and Bulma ever, got the dirt guys and smoking and booging, but it is ironic how Goku was the only one, but he never told anybody about it, so that's really interesting. To answer your seventh question, Capcom going out of business, well, I don't really know if that's true. I know that Capcom has about $150 million left in their bank, but I really doubt they're going to be going out of business anytime soon, because they have the Resident Evil 7 project lined up. They have another Dead Rising game lined up, especially with the ending of the third one. I'm pretty sure they're going to have more Street Fighter games and whatnot. In terms of Mega Man, I would like for them to just finish off Mega Man if they're going to go out of business. And it's quite sad to see that they're going to go out of business because their games did not meet up to expectations, you know? They don't listen to the fans. If you listen to the fans, you know, you're gonna have a great business, you know, but they don't listen to the fans. They don't care about what fans want, especially in Mega Man games, especially in Dead Rising games, especially in Resident Evil games. They don't really care about that. So, do I think they should give away the franchise of Mega Man to another company? I think they should, because you never really know what another company might do. They might do a better job. So I would have to say, if they're gonna go out of business, just give away the project to somebody else. That follows up to your 8th question. Should they finish it up? Well, I really don't think they should finish it up if they're going out of business. Give it to somebody else, because they're not going to have enough time to actually market a game like that and just put it out on the shelves and then just have the doors closed. You know, it makes no sense. So just give it off to another company and just let them run with it, you know. To answer your 9th question, I really don't think I need a gaming PC per se, because my current computer, the Dell, I actually souped it up a little bit with a better graphics card and whatnot, and some other parts. So I think I'm relatively fine for now. I don't need any top of the line stuff, because I'm really not that big of a PC gamer per se. I mean, I'm getting into it, but I think my Dell can actually back it up a lot. So I would have to just maintain with my Dell for now. I was able to play several PC games just fine, like Left 4 Dead, and Steam games like Gary's Mod and whatnot, and Outlast and all that kind of stuff. So I would have to say my current PC is quite fine right now. I mean, maybe in the future, but as of right now, and in terms of 2014, I think this computer would do fine. To answer your 10th question, will I ever play Amnesia? Yes, I have always wanted to play that game really, really badly, actually. So don't be surprised when I present that game in 2014, but you guys have to promise me that you're going to play that game, or at least watch me play it in the dark. I mean, if there's ever a time for you to watch a scary-ass game, it's in the dark by yourself. So, to answer your 11th question, did I know that? Well, the Justice League movie, I heard it's planned for 2018, not 2017. But if that's true, then how are they gonna dish out the Flash, Aquaman, and Wonder Woman before 2017? You know, that's not gonna make any sense to me in a way, because they're gonna have to. Well, they're going to have to film a lot. I mean, including Martian Manhunter and all these other DC characters. And not only that, but who's going to be the villain? I mean, you can't really include Darkseid like in the first film, because he's like the main enemy, you know? So have I heard about the Justice League movie? Yes, I heard about it a while ago, actually. I heard that they're going to do it. And everybody already knew that they were, but nobody knew when. But I'm really happy that they're going to go on ahead and do that. I mean, first of all, we're just going to have to wait and see how Batman versus Superman is going to play out. And then after that, we're just going to have to make our, you know, assumptions on how the Justice League movie is going to play out. So, to answer your 12th question, do I think they should stop? Not really, to a certain extent. I mean, after Assassin's Creed, then we're really gonna find out if they should stop or not. But I could definitely see them doing great movies for great video games. Given the right director and the right cast, that is. Can you imagine a Metal Gear Solid movie? Can you imagine an Assassin's Creed movie? Can you imagine a Halo movie? Can you imagine a Gears of War movie? Can you imagine an Infamous movie? That'd be pretty cool. Or a Call of Duty movie, per se, following the Modern Warfare storyline. Can you imagine if they did a God of War movie? Or perhaps maybe a Last of Us movie, a Resident Evil movie, well, actually a reboot, since the movies suck for Resident Evil and stuff like that, you know? I think that would be really, really awesome to see that, you know? And they don't really have to make live action movies. They can make, you know, cartoonish movies and put them out, you know? I think that would be great as well, so. And to answer your last question about Pan, I would love to see Akira Toriyama do that. Switch Pan up a little bit, make her serious than ever before. Don't make her a whiny little bitch. Make her equivalent to like the boys, Trunks and Goten. You know, make her a Super Saiyan per se. That would be fucking amazing if one day Pan just lost her mind and just, you know, became a Super Saiyan and whatnot. I think that would be pretty darn awesome, you know. Can you imagine Vegeta's reaction? He's like, my God, this is the first Super Saiyan girl in like decades and eons. You know, we haven't had a Super Saiyan female in like over 20 million generations or something like that. You know, like that would be so awesome. You know, I think Pan has the potential to be a great character if they utilized her correctly. And for the love of God, I really wish that Akira Toriyama would listen to me, listen to the fans, listen to you guys, and just actually start working on a new series, because if he's not going to do that, then why even bother? You know, like the guy has so much potential. I mean, sit him down one day with the right people and just encourage him to do, you know, more stuff, because if not, then why even bother in the first place? It wouldn't make any sense. So that's just my little take on that. But thank you for the question, Super Dark Star, and I really hope that you have a wonderful New Year's. And now let's move on to the next question, which is from Davis Ramos 76. Hi Alex, this is my first time sending fan mail questions, so I hope you get a chance to look this over. Thank you for all that you've done. You have no idea how much you mean to us. I even put your matches up on my channel. Wow, thanks, man. So anyways, on to the questions. Question number 1. FMK, fuck, marry, kill, Megan Fox, Kim Kardashian, and Jamie Alexander. Ooh. Question number 2, what are your thoughts on Godzilla in 2014? What are you looking forward to seeing the most? And do you think of having Pacific Rim 2 featuring Godzilla would be a good idea? Question number 3, what are your thoughts on X-Men Apocalypse? Will it be better than the Avengers 2 and Man of Steel 2? Question number 4, do you think it would be a good idea to swap movie roles for Gogeta and Vegito? For example, Gogeta having to fight Super Buu rather than Vegito, and Vegito fighting Janemba rather than Gogeta. Would it have been even? Question number 5, do you think something strange happened on Mars? Just recently, I heard and read reports of there being evidence of a lake and ocean present one time on Mars, along with evidence of footprints. What are your thoughts? Question number 6, GT Adult Gotenks versus Dragon Ball Z Gogeta. Who would win? Question number 7, how can we as fans help you wrestle out of state? Do we recommend you to indie promoters? And final question, question number 8, if you found out a zombie apocalypse happened right now as you're answering this fan mail, what would you do? They are fast zombies too, by the way. Oh my god. Well, thank you for the questions, Mr. Davis. Well, to answer your first question, fuck, marry, kill, I would kill Megan Fox, marry Jamie Alexander, and fuck the crap out of Kim Kardashian. So that would be my little FMK, to be honest. To answer your second question, what are my thoughts on Godzilla in 2014? Godzilla is going to be epic. Godzilla is going to be amazing. I just saw recent pictures on certain websites of them showing some scenes from Godzilla. There was a giant sinkhole. It looked like a giant footprint. So many things happening, and I think Godzilla is going to be amazing. I really don't know the backstory behind it. I remember way back on the 1999 or 1998 version of Godzilla, the story was, you know, they were testing nuclear bombs, and pretty much the radiation mutated 2 very small lizards into becoming, you know, Godzilla, sort of say. But this movie, it's looking to be very promising. In the trailer, they actually showed a giant dead corpse, and it definitely was not Godzilla, but it looks like Godzilla is going to be fighting something. If not humans, then definitely another monster. What can it be? But I really suggest all of you out there that are hearing the sound of my voice to go watch Godzilla in 2014. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Visually, it's just going to be stunning, way better than any other Godzilla movie ever created. And this Godzilla movie will be done right. So I think that if you guys want to enjoy the film, go see it for sure. In terms of them having Pacific Rim 2, including Godzilla, that would be freaking awesome. Can you imagine, you know, having some of the Jaegers fight Godzilla? Like, that would be amazing. Like Godzilla would be like the category 6 or category 7 of the kaiju rank, you know. In the first film, they only went up to 5, I believe, but maybe Godzilla can rank above that, like a category 5 or 6 or 7 or something like that, like, you know, far above that, you know. Actually, there was one of my Facebook friends by the name of Edgar. He actually sent me a little picture of one of the Jaegers fighting Godzilla, and it looked incredibly awesome. So would it be a good idea? Yes. Do they necessarily have to kill Godzilla? No. Pacific Rim 2 can be an alternative story for Godzilla. Like, what if Godzilla actually fought a Jaeger? Considering the fact that Jaegers are huge. Like, comparing Optimus Prime from Transformers to a Jaeger, Optimus Prime is like a child child, you know, in terms of size, you know. So a Jaeger's huge, and Godzilla is just enormous, especially in the upcoming film. So having Pacific Rim 2 feature some of these kaijus would be awesome, and everybody knows that Godzilla is the ultimate kaiju in Japan, you know, like it doesn't get any bigger than Godzilla. So by them featuring Godzilla in Pacific Rim 2, it would be absolutely amazing to see, and pretty much pushing the limit of the Jaeger against Godzilla. Like, for example, how awesome would it be instead of having a one-on-one with a Jaeger and Godzilla, they would have maybe 2 Jaegers, 3 Jaegers, 4 Jaegers against Godzilla. That's how powerful Godzilla is, you know what I mean? Along with other kaijus as well, but Godzilla being one of the top-of-the-line kaijus from the other realm and whatnot. I think that would be a great idea, you know, having, you know, other kaijus in there incorporated with Godzilla would be sick. So to answer your third question, what are my thoughts on X-Men Apocalypse, and will it be better than the Avengers 2 and Man of Steel 2? I think the Avengers 2 is going to be better than X-Men Apocalypse. So in terms of X-Men Apocalypse being better than the Avengers 2, I don't think so. But X-Men Apocalypse is going to be, it's going to be great because they're going to incorporate Apocalypse, and Apocalypse is the equivalent of Thanos in the Avengers and Darkseid in the Justice League. So that right there just speaks very boldly, and Apocalypse doesn't really care about anybody. He hates all, you know, humans. He hates all mutants that he deems weak. So it'll be incredibly awesome to see, you know, Logan and, you know, Storm and all these characters, Magneto and Doctor, you know, all of them just combine their powers to fight this dude. It's going to be awesome, and I really hope that they don't kill Apocalypse in that movie. I hope that they drag it on. But my thoughts on X-Men Apocalypse, it's a great idea to announce it now. And that being in the works for 2016. It's going to come out 2 years after Days of Future Past. So you're going to have the Avengers 2 and Man of Steel 2 in 2015, and then you're going to have X-Men Apocalypse in 2016. So will it be better than the Avengers 2? Probably not. Will it be better than the Man of Steel 2? Now that can raise a bunch of questions because the Man of Steel 2 is going to feature Flash and Wonder Woman, whereas opposed to X-Men Apocalypse is going to feature everybody. So we're just going to have to wait and see until the Avengers 2 and Man of Steel 2 come out. That way we can actually catch up and see which movie is better. But in terms of X-Men Apocalypse, I think everybody should go see that film. First of all, I think everybody should just go see Days of Future Past, because that's going to be another amazing film. So my quick thoughts on that. It's going to be pretty cool. So I really can't wait to see how they're going to incorporate Apocalypse, especially with the whole idea of him being introduced. So to answer your fourth question, that would be very interesting. Would the fights be even? In Vegeto's case, no, but for Gogeta, that would be awesome. I mean, it's just like a giant what if. Like, what if Super Buu Gohan Absorbed fought Gogeta instead of Vegeto? I think that fight would have been much more meaningful than Vegeto versus Super Buu, because Vegeto obliterated Super Buu. It was no point to it. Whereas opposed to Gogeta, he's a little weaker than Vegeto, but nevertheless, I mean, it would even the fight out, you know, like, it would be a back and forth struggle, you know, like, it would be just downright awesome to see Gogeta pushed to his very limits against Super Buu. But then again, Janemba was said to be more powerful than Super Buu, and Gogeta took him out with ease. So would Gogeta be similar to Vegeto in the whole Super Buu aspect? Maybe. But it would be very interesting to see, and, you know, rather than Buu, you know, swallowing up and eating or absorbing, you know, Gogeta's timer, you know, runs out, and therefore he defuses, you know, incorporating some other stuff. So in terms of Vegeto versus Janemba, Vegeto would just wreck Janemba. I think Vegeto would literally toy around with Janemba, forcing Janemba to do something absolutely crazy. And I'm pretty sure wherever Janemba would go, Vegeto would pick up his movements and he would knock him around like nothing. So I think in that aspect, Vegeto versus Janemba would be pretty cool to see. But I think as a whole, would everything be even? To a certain extent, maybe. But I've always wanted to see Gogeta and Vegeto push to their very limits, because I think those two characters deserve a challenge, and I think later on down the road, if they're ever going to do another series or another movie, I definitely think they should just push those two characters to their very limits and beyond, because, you know, that way we can see what these characters are capable of. So to answer your fifth question, something strange happening on Mars. I mean, I remember reading an article similar to what you just said about there being a lake on Mars, And it actually just raises a lot of philosophical questions, like, what really went down over there? Like, we will never know, right? We will never ever know unless we travel back in time or something like that. But to a certain extent, it's like, it kind of gets you thinking, like, well, if there was water up there, if there was evidence of footprints, if there was evidence of man-like caves, if there were evidence of oceans and continents, what happened out there? Like, what happened on Mars, now that it's so dry and it's been reduced to nothing but dust and rocks, Like, was there a colonization of aliens that pretty much did something over there? Were we up there at first, and then we got sent over here? We don't know. We don't know. My thoughts on it, it's pretty scary if you think about it, because Mars is really, really far away. And for them to find water over there, for them to find traces of footprints, not man-made footprints, but just footprints in general, it's like, whoa. And they already found organisms over there. They found bacteria, they found viruses and stuff like that. So it kind of gets you thinking, like, well, what really happened on Mars? Like, it's absolutely scary. And I mean, who are we as people to even say that such things never occurred, because we're only human beings. I mean, we can't really tell into the past, we can't look into the future. So it raises a lot of philosophical questions. And for me, for one, I would love to know what happened. I mean, I wish I can go back in time and just watch. But Mars is a very interesting planet. I mean, there's been several movies on Mars. There have been several, wacky ideas on Mars, like aliens and zombies and all that kind of stuff. But we will never know for sure. All we have right now is the rover that's up there, and we can just depend on that because we don't have any humans over there. We can't get that far. So, in my opinion, we're just going to have to wait and see what happens, because, what if they do discover life? That's going to change the way society functions forever, So, to answer your sixth question, GT adult Gotenks versus Gogeta. That would be a very good fight, considering the fact that Gotenks would be a lot stronger than he previously would in Dragon Ball Z. And I think that fight would be pretty fucking awesome to see. We're not talking about GT Gogeta, because if it was GT Gogeta, he would obliterate Gotenks. But I think Dragon Ball Z Gogeta would give Gotenks a run for his money with the Stardust Breaker, with the instant transmission, with the Big Bang Kamehameha, with the Final Flash Kamehameha, stuff like that. So I think Gogeta would definitely win, but I think Gotenks would fuck him up. I think Gotenks would definitely give him a run for his money, especially if Gotenks hits Super Saiyan 3 against regular Super Vegito. That would be just incredible. Unless, of course, Gogeta transforms into Super Saiyan 3. But Gotenks, I mean, I really wish that GT had an adult Gotenks, because that would have made so much more sense, given the fact that now they're, teenagers and whatnot, and technically adults, and everything would have looked a lot better visually, and the story would have been a little better, So, in that aspect, I still say Gogeta, but, GT fucked up a lot. I really wish that I can go back in time and I were to have the rights of GT, because I would do it so differently. But in the end, I do think Gogeta would win. To answer your seventh question, how can you guys help me wrestle out of state? Well, I would recommend, if you guys knew any indie promoters, you would tell them about me. You would show them my Evolution Chronicles channel. You would show them my wrestling matches and whatnot. Just give them a little bit of a little heads up on who I am. I do want to wrestle out of state. I absolutely do. I want to wrestle a lot in 2014. That's my goal, is to have as many matches as I possibly can. And hopefully in 2014 it's going to fare up for my benefit, because I would really like to do that. But the most you guys can do is just, continue to support me the way you do, and it's greatly humbled and appreciative of me, because I really appreciate what you guys do. You have no idea how much it means to me. So to that, I can just say thank you for everything, literally for everything, for everything. Thank you. To answer your last question, if a zombie apocalypse happened right now while I'm answering this fan mail, if they were fast zombies, well, if the internet was still working, I would stop what I'm doing right now. I would make like a quick 1 minute, 2 minute video telling you guys that there's a zombie apocalypse, warning all of you. Then what I would proceed to do is just probably call all my friends, see what they're up to, see if they're okay. Tell everybody just to rendezvous at my house. If nobody can go outside, then I guess I'm just gonna fortify my location. I'm just gonna go through the neighbors' houses and take their food, take their freaking TVs, just to make sure I have some communication and whatnot. Weapons, I mean, anything can be used as a weapon, so... but it wouldn't be a pretty sight if a zombie apocalypse happened right now, let me just say. But thank you once again for the questions, Davis. Happy New Year to you as well, my friend. And now, once again, moving on to the next question, which is from Edgar, my boy. Hey, man, it's been a long time. Thanks for the Halloween episode. Well, we no longer have a Halloween episode due to the simple fact that YouTube's copyright claims pretty much took my video down, so... And all because I had Batman gameplay in there too, so go figure, right? Anyways, let's go on to the questions. Question number 1. Do you think that we will get more solid Godzilla movies? I hope we need more Godzilla movies now. Question number 2. Will you do more Let's Plays on Batman? I love Batman Arkham games. Question number 3. Are Resident Evil games done that they will never go back into horror games and they will forever just be action games? Question number 4. Are you a fan of Devil May Cry games? And will you get Devil May Cry? I love the game. It is amazing. Question number 5. Did Iron Man 3 fucking suck ass? I hated so much on what they did to the Mandarin. It was not cool on what they did to him. Would you agree with me? Well, thank you for the questions, Edgar. I really hope that you have a great holiday, man. Well, to answer your first question about Godzilla, do we need more Godzilla? Yes. We need more Godzilla films after next year's film. I mean, literally. I believe Godzilla drops in May 2014, so the movie's gonna be phenomenal. I mean, that's already expected. I mean, just look at the trailers thus far. I mean, Godzilla looks absolutely massive. I mean, it's also said that this is the largest Godzilla in history. He is way bigger than Zilla. I hated Zilla. He's way bigger than Zilla. He's way bigger than the 1968 Godzilla. He's way bigger than any other Godzilla known so far. So this is the biggest Godzilla in history in terms of height and girth. I mean, just I believe his tail alone stretches out like 10, 15 Manhattan blocks, and they're huge. So, I mean, and you just see the scale. I mean, as he's walking past buildings in San Francisco, it's unbelievable. So for all of you out there that are hearing the sound of my voice, go see Godzilla in 2014. Go see Godzilla in 2014. It is going to be absolutely amazing. Now, for those of you out there who never saw my previous podcast, where myself and my friends, Paul, Sean, Danny and everybody were talking about Godzilla, pretty much there was a rumor, and I also suggest you guys to check out my podcast if you guys haven't already done so, the Roundtable Podcast. Also, guys, there was a rumor going around, and we mentioned this in the podcast, by the way, that Godzilla will be encountering other enemies, other kaijus, other mutant monsters in the movie. Now, there was a rumor that there are scorpion-like monsters and dragon-like monsters within Godzilla 2014. This is actually proven correct because in the original Comic-Con teaser trailer, pretty much we saw a giant corpse just laid out in the middle of nowhere, and you never really saw the face, you never really saw the body. All you saw was its hand, and it's not Godzilla's because Godzilla has a different skin tone. So if there are going to be other monsters in the film, it's going to be amazing because it's not just humans versus monster. It's monster versus monster versus monster versus humans, And the humans pretty much have to, decide, like, all right, well, we have to fucking get rid of Godzilla. I mean, but we don't know necessarily how he came to be, whether it be mutation or nuclear or just maybe he was genetically engineered. You don't know that. Or maybe Godzilla was an ancient beast that was here pretty much from the dawn of time. I mean, you never really know. You don't know what Godzilla is. But for the other kaijus, and they are called kaijus, by the way, we don't know too much on that. We really don't know much about the new Godzilla film other than the trailer that they depicted, and it's just phenomenal, man. I mean, I know how much you love Godzilla. I love Godzilla. I mean, when I was a kid, I even loved the 1998 version because I thought it was pretty good when I was a kid, but then I never really understood until I looked back, and I was like, wow, But the possibilities are endless for Godzilla movies, man. Like, we even talked about it on Facebook. Pacific Rim 2 featuring Godzilla, featuring other kaijus. Like, this would be amazing. So, the possibilities are endless. And would we get more solid Godzilla movies? I mean, one can only hope so, right? So to answer your second question, sorry, Edgar. I really apologize for this. I'm very sorry, but no, I will no longer be doing Batman. And you can thank YouTube for that. I really don't have anything against YouTube. YouTube is a great place to showcase excellent stuff. But it's just their policies. I'm not going to sit here and tell YouTube what to do and how to run their corporation. But being that, I'm here and I have a voice, and I am the voice of the voiceless, of the voiceless, of the voiceless, I can pretty much speak for everybody when I say this is unfair. This is unfair because how many of us actually picked up Batman, Arkham Origins, Arkham City, Arkham Asylum because of Let's Players, because of walkthroughs and whatnot. So I'm unable to do Batman. It sucks. It really sucks. I mean, I finally got to the point where I beat the game, and I can't showcase that. I can't show you guys. I can't interact with you guys on that Batman level anymore. Perhaps maybe if I can figure something out, maybe I can live stream it on Twitch. And my Twitch account is twitch.tv/AlexAnimal7. Maybe perhaps on there we can get something going. But over here, I mean, I can't do any more Batman, man. I'm so sorry. I mean, I love I loved Batman as a kid, but I never really played the games as much. But the Arkham games are just amazing, and it's sad. It really is. So to answer that question, this is probably the saddest question ever. No, I'm sorry. To answer your third question, actually, revolving Resident Evil, will they be going back to survival horror? Yes, actually. The Capcom head guys were pretty much talking about how Resident Evil 7 is technically confirmed in a sense, but they also want to go back to their original survival horror roots, depicting Resident Evil 0, Resident Evil 1, and Resident Evil 2. So they definitely want to go back to survival horror, and they want to base it on that. They don't want to do action anymore because they've seen how bad Resident Evil 5 and 6 were. So pretty much they're going to go back to the original survival horror roots. And when might that occur? We don't really know. I'm guessing Resident Evil 7 is going to drop maybe in 2016, 2017 perhaps, give or take. But be that as it may, if it does come out in 2016, 2015, even the latest, we don't really know for sure, but I really, really hope that Resident Evil turns it around, because I hate to see my favorite franchise die. I mean, I love the Resident Evil story with the mutants and the tyrants and the zombies and the lickers and the walkers and the undead dogs, and the freaking mutants that dwell within the ocean, like the sharks and the octopuses and the crocodiles and the birds. And you have Ada Wong and Barry and Chris, you have Shiva, you have freaking Leon, you have so many characters, Claire, Jill. I mean, I love the franchise, and I really don't want to see it die off like this. So if they really want redemption, fix Resident Evil by making Resident Evil 7 better than any other Resident Evil game ever. So to answer your fourth question, I'm a little bit of a fan of Devil May Cry, give or take. That's a big give or take. I haven't played Devil May Cry in ages, literally since the PS2 days, man. And that's because I kind of lost interest in it. But maybe if I had some sort of motivation to go back and play it, I would. But I don't know, there's something about it. I was a big fan, but then suddenly it just died off. I mean, I don't understand. I mean, maybe it's because, well, I remember one of my PS2 games broke, and I couldn't play ever since. Maybe that's why it kind of drew me off, because I said, fuck it. But I can't really say I'm a fan. I'm more like a casual fan for the Devil May Cry aspect. So will I be getting another one? I mean, if one drops for the next gens, then yeah, I will. I wouldn't mind that whatsoever. So, and to answer your last question, yes, Iron Man 3 fucking sucked in certain aspects. The Mandarin was just terrible. He was supposed to be a vicious, evil tyrant, and instead he was a laughingstock. And it really pissed me off, because, I mean, going back to it, I was just like, well, if you want to have a great villain, why are you gonna mess it up this much? It just made no sense to me. Like, it literally pissed me off, you know? They could have done a more epic story, but then again, they didn't really know if Robert Downey Jr. was gonna come back to play Iron Man ever again. So I understand where they're coming from, but thus far this year, the best superhero movie was Thor 2 and then Man of Steel. Then Wolverine and then Iron Man. So that's just my little take on that. So thank you for the questions, Mr. Edgar. I really hope you have a wonderful New Year's, man. A wonderful Christmas, a wonderful holiday season, actually. And God bless you and your family, man. And I really appreciate what you just asked me. So thank you very much, my friend. Now let's kick it off with another question, which is from M7MDXXCraft79. That's a very unique name. Hello there, UnrealEnt Gaming. I really have some questions for you. All right, let's get started. Question number 1. Do you like my Minecraft skin? Question number 2. What do you like more in DBZ games, Raging Blast or Budokai Tenkaichi 3? I really think Budokai Tenkaichi 3 is better. Question number 3. What if they put some Tenkaichi 3 and co-op, what is that? Experience? What the hell? Do you think it will be the best DBZ game ever? Well, I'm thinking you're saying experience, so I'll just go off that. Question number 4, do you think Goku or Superman will win in a battle? I think Goku will win, and even Cyberman can do it. I don't know about Cyberman. Question number 5, do you think Vegeta someday will turn into a Super Saiyan 3? I think that they will make a real Vegeta Super Saiyan 3 character, not What If. Thank you. I hope you reach 1 million subscribers. In the episode of Bardock normal form is stronger than Goku Super Saiyan 1. Hell no, there is no way Bardock is stronger than a Super Saiyan 1 Goku. Are you insane? But thank you for the questions, man. To answer your first question, do I like your Minecraft skin? Well, I really don't know what the hell you are. You look like a derped out fusion of a duck and a crocodile. I mean, I don't know, like, what do you look like, a duck croc? Hashtag duck croc. That's exactly what you are, or croc duck. I don't know. A croc duck. I really don't know. I mean, all I can see is a head, and he looks really derped out. So I mean, that's all I have to say about that. I mean, he looks all right. It looks kind of disturbing, but to answer your second question, what do I like more? I like Budokai Tenkaichi 3's fighting style, and I also like their character roster. They have the biggest character roster, ranging from Dragon Ball characters to Dragon Ball Z characters to Dragon Ball GT characters, and I think it's just absolutely amazing. Raging Blast, however, has better graphics. It has better environment destruction in a certain aspect. It has What If characters. So I think I would much rather prefer Raging Blast in an essence in terms of cinematics when you're doing final moves and when you're trying to like pair up some really neato, you know, What If battles and whatnot, because you could do some really cool stuff. I mean, I'm not saying you can't do it in Budokai Tenkaichi 3, but the only reason why you can do it in Budokai Tenkaichi 3 is because they have GT characters and Dragon Ball characters, you know, like they have all the characters. That's pretty much it. Other than that, I think Raging Blast would have to take that one. I really like Tenkaichi 3, but I would have to say Raging Blast 2 for me. I mean, I love Tenkaichi 3, don't get me wrong, guys, but they would have to be on equal levels, but just Raging Blast is just a little higher than that. So to answer your third question, what if they put Tenkaichi 3 and a co-op experience together? Well, to make the best DBZ game, you have to incorporate the ideas of fans, Namco Bandai. I mean, I really don't get why you guys don't want to incorporate the ideas of fans. You know, we as fans are, you know, giving you our money. We make you rich. You know, you don't make us rich, we make you rich. I'm going to repeat that. We make you rich. You don't make us rich. You know? So in order for you guys to get more of our money, give us what we want. And we want the ultimate Dragon Ball Z game with every single fucking character you can think of, including What If characters. I mean, why the fuck not, right? Sometimes playing the same old campaign gets boring. So why not have the actual player finish the game and then unlocking a whole bunch of What If stories, you know? For example, what if Bills fought Omega Shenron? What if Super Saiyan 3 Gogeta fought Super Saiyan 3 Vegito? Or what if Super Saiyan 3 Broly fought Super Saiyan 3 Gogeta? Or what if, you know, Super Buu absorbed Janemba? Or what if Baby absorbed Broly? Or what if, you know, Trunks was able to go Super Saiyan 3 and fight Super Saiyan 3 Gohan. You know, stuff like that would be freaking amazing. You know, Super Saiyan God Goku versus Super Saiyan 4 Goku. You know, what if? You know, stuff like that would be absolutely amazing. So I think if you want the Ultimate Dragon Ball Z game, include a better roster. Number 2, add character creation. Number 3, incorporate what they're doing in Battle of Z. Having 1-on-1, 2-on-2, 3-on-3, 4-on-4, 5-on-5, you know, 3-on-2, 4-on-1, 4-on-2, stuff like that. Like, incorporate a very unique multiplayer aspect to it, along with co-op as well. So another thing I would like to say is probably adding a better simulator to maps. You know, have a bigger environment destruction range, sort of say. Like, you're able to destroy everything and everything, like just everything and anything, actually, excuse me. And have all different kind of maps. Like, for example, for the first time ever, let's fight on King Kai's planet, for example. You know, that'd be a great map to fight on King Kai's planet. The Hyperbolic Time Chamber, Boo's Head, the Otherworld Tournament, you know, the Cell Rings, and you have, you know, all sorts of stuff. You can do it on Frieza's spaceship. You can do it on the planet that, you know, they fought Broly on. You know, like that, like shit like that would be freaking amazing. You know, have like total environment destruction and whatnot. So I think that's suitable for the best Dragon Ball Z game. So to answer your fourth question, Goku versus Superman, I already made a video about that many months ago, and I said Goku actually, but just by a hair. Cyberman would lose by Superman. Superman would kill Cyberman, so hell no, Cyberman can't do it. But Superman is tough, dude. You can't just overlook Superman because you're a Dragon Ball Z fan. I mean, Superman is freaking powerful. Like, this dude can hold his own against Goku, but I just think Goku would be able to, like, pull off the victory by a hair against Superman. But I mean, hey, victory is a victory, right? So, and to answer your final question, will there ever be a Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta? I would really hope so, because I would love to see a Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta. You know, like, for the simple fact that it would culminate all his training. It would actually mean a lot more to fans if this man were to finally reach that level legitimately. You know, not no BS blood swaves and all that kind of stuff. So I really hope so. I mean, they already have them in Japan, so why not in America and in Europe and stuff like that. So, but thank you for the questions, Mr. MDXX Craft. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a great holiday season, my friend. And now moving on to the next question, which is from Oblivion God 12. Hey Alex, you stud, you. I got some questions for you. Enjoy. Here we go. Question number 1. What if all the gods in DBZ had a mentor and Whis was the weakest? Oh, shit. I mean, that I could really believe, because that right there makes a lot of sense. Question 2. Are you keeping your Xbox 360 and PS3? Xbox because of GTA 5 and DBZ, Battle of Z, and PS3 because of The Last of Us DLC. Question number 3. What if you and I fused? I have a power level of 9,000, which is bad because they have power levels over millions and stuff. Shit, fuck. Well, I mean, if their power levels are over, you know, a few million, then I'm pretty sure we're screwed. Whether we use the Patara earrings or whether we do that silly little dance, I mean, either way, we're screwed, my friend. Question number 4. Where can you watch DBZ episodes online? There was a site I would watch with all of the Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, and Dragon Ball GT, and all of the movies. Question 5. Any thoughts on Vice City 2? Question number 6. Do you watch UnrealEntGaming or Speedy W03? If not, watch them. They're really funny. Question number 7. Do you want to come over? I have some DBZ toys. What the hell? Question number 8. I hear DBZ Battle of Z demo will only be out for Europe. Question number 1, can verify. Question 10, South Park Stick of Truth's release date is March 4th, Europe March 6th, my B-Day. Unfortunately, I'm American and I'm proud to be an American, nothing against America. Well, I mean, they haven't really announced anything for that yet, but I'll get on. Question number 11, did you see the South Park Black Friday episodes? Question 12, there is a rumor that Brian isn't dead. Yeah, by the way, in episode 50, you said the voice of Brian went to go do Ted. I hope he knows that Seth MacFarlane is the voice of Brian, but I think you do. Yes, I do. Question 13, final question. What if Bills and Whis and all of the other gods fused? but all of the good guys and all the Saiyans fused. Who would win? Oh, so you're saying all the gods and everybody else just, alright, it's like an inseparable fusion. Alright. Hope you enjoyed PS. Fuck you, Rail, fuck you, Squid, fuck you, Yamcha, F you, Paul. Bye, dude. Blow out, well, bromance. No homo. Alright, well, unless you want to pound that fist for me real quick, it's just, bro fist. Alright, to answer your first question, what if all the gods in DBZ had a mentor and Whis was the weakest? That would be very interesting, because then who would have taught everybody else how to fight, you know? It kind of goes back to saying, it's like, Bills has a master, right? But then again, who taught Whis, you know? It always goes back, you know? So I'm pretty sure there is a divine being who's probably, you know, the epicenter of power. He's probably the god of gods. And I wouldn't be surprised if there are any other gods that are more powerful than Whis, because you have to remember, Whis is the most powerful god in the 7th universe for Dragon Ball Z. We're not talking about, you know, the 3rd universe, the 4th universe, the, you know, 6th universe, the 1st universe, you know, any of that stuff. So there could be other gods out there in other universes that could be twice as strong, 3 times as strong, 10 million times stronger, you know what I mean? So that right there just pretty much sets a tone, like, well, you know, obviously Whis, you know, recruited Bills and he pretty much taught him everything he knew. But then again, who taught Whis, you know? And I wouldn't be surprised if Whis was the weakest, because, you know, there are some indications out there that there might be other beings like 10 times more powerful than either of them combined. So, at this point, it's all up to Akira Toriyama. See, if I was him, I would definitely incorporate good gods and bad gods. But like I said, it's all up to Akira Toriyama. It's whatever the guy wants to do. And personally, for me, Whis is such a very unique character because he's so mellow, he's so laid back, he just wants to eat and, you know, relax. And if you piss him off, you all saw what happens, right? Like, he chopped Bills once and that was the end of it. So to answer your second question, am I keeping my Xbox and PS3? Unfortunately, guys, I got rid of my PS3 about a couple of weeks ago. My Xbox 360, I'm still going to keep that. I might get rid of it in the future because, I mean, what's the point of having either or when you're going to have the new consoles? And I'm pretty sure that they're going to be, you know, more GTA games, more Dragon Ball Z games, more Last of Us games coming out for the PS4 and Xbox One. So, pretty much the Xbox 360 and PS3 era is slowly starting to die off little by little. And it's pretty sad to see that happen because we all grew up in that era, and it's just amazing to see how much it has transformed us. But it's sad to say maybe 5 years down the road, or maybe less, I think nobody's going to be playing the Xbox 360, PS3 as much as the Xbox One and PS4. So to answer your third question, if we're going to fuse, you better lock those earrings in because that shit will multiply our power. But then again, if we're going to fight somebody who's millions of times stronger, then you better eat your vitamins and say your prayers, brother, because we're not going to stand the freaking chance. To answer your fourth question, I don't recall any websites. I used to go to a website called watchmoviesonline.com, but they took that down. So as of right now, I don't know any websites, to be honest. Like, I'm trying to think of one. I mean, I'm sure there are, but on the top of my head right now, I really can't think of one, to be honest. So the best thing I can just suggest is just YouTube. I mean, I've been trying to get a hold of like entire episodes for the longest now, and I just couldn't do it. So it sucks, but that's why I revert to YouTube to watch my DBZ stuff. So to answer your fifth question, Vice City 2. Technically, there is a Vice City 2 per se. It's the Vice City Stories, but a lot of people don't want to count that as Vice City 2. If and only if Rockstar is going to be going back to Vice City, I would love to see them do a transformation to Vice City per se, just like they did with San Andreas. But then again, it's like, how would you do Vice City? You know what I mean? It'll be very interesting to see, especially for the next gen consoles. And that's the thing, like GTA 6 or whatever the next GTA game is, it's going to be blockbuster. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be groundbreaking because it's going to be for the next gen consoles. And that's just awesome because I wanted GTA 5 for the next gen consoles, but you know, certain things happen and you can't really get that done. So but my thoughts on Vice City 2, if there is ever going to be a Vice City 2, tell the story of Tommy Vercetti and pretty much explain to the people, you know, on what happened following, you know, his trademark battles with Sonny and all that kind of stuff. So To answer your 6th question, I've never heard of those two, but I might go check them out later. A lot of you guys have often recommended me to people, so I'm definitely going to go on ahead and check them out and see how they're worth. So, to answer your 7th question, do I want to come over because you have Dragon Ball Z toys? I don't know. I mean, do you have candy in your van? I might go for it. So, to answer your 8th question, no, the demo is actually coming out. Well, actually, no, the demo already came out, as a matter of fact. So, that's pretty cool. I mean, a lot of people have played it. I've played it. So, the demo is a little glitchy. But then again, the game is always, at its perfection. So, the demo is what it was, but the actual game is going to be 10 times better. So, for those of you out there who didn't like the demo, just be patient because the game is going to fill in those voids. So, and to answer your 9th question, can Bear fly? Bear can fly. Bear is a monster. Once Bear takes off, that's it. He can fly faster than Superman and Goku combined. So, to answer your 10th question, South Park Stick of Truth. I really want that game to come out really badly now. Like, really, really badly. I mean, I don't know why they're delaying it so much. Maybe it's because they're just doing it to be assholes. Or maybe then again, they're doing it to just, pretty much update the game. But I really didn't hear much about of a release date. But I'm sure if they're going to make a release date, it's definitely going to be in March for North America as well. Probably like the 5th or something like that, but the game has to come out. I would recommend it for it coming out on the PS4 and Xbox One because, the better the next gen consoles are, the better the game are. So, To answer your 11th question, did I see the Black Friday episodes? Yes. I kind of thought that they could have done more with the episodes. They could have done, a more bloodier scene with Bill Gates fighting the Sony guy. I wanted to see all the kids fight, but they didn't do that, so that was very disappointing in and of itself. But I have seen the episodes, yes. To answer your 12th question, that's exactly what happened, Seth MacFarlane pretty much went to go film Ted, and they're still not done with it. He still has to do a lot more, but that was one of the main reasons why. So, and to answer your last question, I think the gods would win, honestly, because the gods would be way too powerful. I mean, there is absolutely no way that anybody can sit there and say that the gods would not obliterate them, because their power would be so great. It's just, it'll be so hard to comprehend, number one. Number two, I really feel bad for whoever's going to go up against them, because that is the ultimate fusion right there. So, but anyways, thank you for the question, Mr. Oblivion, and I hope you have a wonderful holiday season, man. Whew, what a fan mail thus far. Moving on to the next question, everybody, which is from Patrick Hedhog. Hey, Alex, I have some questions for you, and before I get into the questions, I have to say that you've changed my life, and you make me smile when I feel down. Thank you, man. Keep doing what you're doing, man. And with that, let's get into the questions. All right, question number 1. Did you watch the Ben 10 franchise? Question 2. Have you ever watched Attack on Titan? Question 3. Have you ever played SCP Containment Breach? It is some scary shit. Here's the link, okay? Question 4. Have you heard of Mark Pedro? He's funny as hell. Here's a link to his channel. There we go, okay? Question number 5, I believe. Do you think Saiyans could be real and could be out there? Question number 6. What do you think of Sonic Lost World on the Wii U? Here is some gameplay. Those are all my questions for now. P.S. Alex for president, yes. I mean, free Twinkies for everybody. Would you not, like that? I mean, shit. P.S. Fuck you, Yamcha. I am also replacing the Japanese music for Dragon Ball Z. I would appreciate it if you checked it out and can give me some feedback. And last but not least, P.S. Fuck you, bro. All right, thanks for the questions, Mr. Patrick. To answer your first question, I did watch Ben 10, but I only watched 2 episodes. That was it. I was never too big into the franchise. I remember watching 2 episodes one day because I was extremely bored, and there was nothing on TV. So I remember watching Ben 10 twice, and it didn't really draw me into the franchise as it did many other people. But I really have nothing to say about that other than the fact that I only saw 2 episodes of it, so you can't really say much on 2 episodes, So Ben 10, I've watched it, but like I said, only 2 episodes. So To answer your second question, have I ever watched Attack on Titan? I have never watched that before. I actually don't know what it is. So, I mean, right now I'm actually getting into so many animes and so many cartoons. Like lately, I've been watching because everybody left and right's been trying to get me into like different stuff. You know, Paul and Sean have been trying to get me into Naruto and Death Note, and I've been watching Death Note. I actually started watching Naruto for the first time. I actually watched Pain versus Naruto, the entire 2.5-hour battle. I'm up to the 3rd episode in Death Note. I am currently trying to watch Vampire Diaries. That's what my friend TKD Rebounds, aka Justin, has been recommending to me. My friend Omar, Contagious Viper, has been trying to get me into Top Gear. So it's actually kind of hard balancing everything out because, you know, I'm always making videos for you guys and whatnot. I'm also trying to watch TV shows, so it's really, really hard. So have I ever watched Attack on Titan? No. To answer your third question, have I ever played SCP? I've never heard of it. I never played it. I really don't think anything beats Outlast, because Outlast is pretty freaking scary and it's really creepy. But I wouldn't mind checking it out. I mean, I want to see what it's about, especially with the whole containment breach. Why do I have the feeling that this has to do with a virus? I mean, that's the thing these days. Like everything, it's with a pathogen or a virus or some sort of mutation or something. It's actually pretty scary, man. Kind of gets you thinking if the government's ever going to unleash a biological weapon or something like that. To answer your 5th question, never heard of them, but since I'm already doing this, I might as well just check them out after I'm done with this. So, to answer your, 5th question, I believe? Do I think Saiyans can be out there? No, hell no. That's, a Saiyan is pretty much a fictional character. I mean, as much as we would want them to be real, Saiyans aren't real, and I mean, but who am I to say that there aren't beings similar to that? I'm pretty sure that there can't be any being out there that can power up or whatnot. You know, I'm pretty sure there are beings out there in the universe, somewhere in the cosmos, that possess great technology, that possess, you know, telekinetic power and all that kind of stuff. You know, I'm pretty sure that there are aliens and beings out there that have supernatural powers, you know, powers to fly, powers of super strength and whatnot. But incorporating that, you know, into a Saiyan, Saiyans aren't real, man. I mean, I wish they were, because shit, if Goku were to land on Earth, I'd be the first person to try to come up to him and ask him for training lessons. But do I think there's Saiyans out there and can they be real? No, I think to a certain extent there are beings out there that can possibly, you know, maneuver through time and do all sorts of stuff. But in terms of actual Saiyans, no. And to answer your last question, I wasn't really too big into Sonic, so I can't really say anything about Sonic the Lost World on the Wii U. You know, like, I haven't played Sonic since I was a child. So, I mean, one can only imagine how much the franchise has improved, but for me personally, I haven't, you know, played Sonic since I was a child, and I don't know anything about the Lost World. So, I'm definitely going to look into the gameplay, though, to see what it's about. If it's cool. I actually looked up a lot of stuff on the Wii U, actually, that drew my attention. So, and if you want me for president, vote for me for president. I'll give, like, free chicken wings on Monday. I don't know. But thank you for the questions, Patrick. Happy holidays, man. Moving on once again to the next question, which is from Jake Wolf. Hey, Alex, how are you, man? I'm doing great today. How are you? Now on to the questions. Okay, here we go. Question number 1. Have you ever been jumped? I'm curious. Question number 2. How violent do you think you can get? Ooh, damn. Question 3. Can you please tell us, the fans, what you think about Anonymous? Question 4. Have you ever done drugs? If you have, what kind and why? Question 5. Can you please watch this vid? By the way, I'm going to recommend a video every fan mail, of course, if you get into mine. Question 6. Why don't you ever speak Spanish when you're making your videos? I'm not Spanish. Question 7. Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Dragon Ball Z? I know it's hard to choose, but can you please? Those are all my questions today. I have this for you. God bless. Thank you, man. Christmas in the hood. All right, man. Thank you for the questions. I really appreciate it, Jake. All right, to answer your first question, well, I don't know if you've been watching my previous fan mails, but yeah, I have been jumped before. I've only been jumped once, though. I was jumped in the 7th grade by about 7 or 8 kids. All over a misunderstanding, you know, like I really couldn't fight back because at the time I really didn't know how to fight back, and at the time, you know, it's like 7, 8, 9 kids just beating me up, so it's just like if you hit one, the other one's gonna come out and hit you out of nowhere. So I was jumped in the 7th grade, and From there, that was pretty much it. I mean, nothing else ever happened since in terms of me being jumped ever, because, you know, from there time goes on, and then, you know, you start to grow bigger, and, you know, genetics kicks in. So I was only jumped in the 7th grade, and it was all over because I liked this one girl and I was talking to her on a friendly level, and some other kid didn't like it, so him and his friends just jumped me pretty much inside the school in front of everybody, and nobody did anything to help me. So that pretty much says a lot about the people that were there, you know, at the time, right? So to answer your second question, I really don't like to think about that because I mean, we can all get pretty violent, right? But for me personally, I mean, I could be very, very violent. Literally, I can go on a hiatus, and I would never want to cross that pathway, because I would never want to experience nor see how violent I can truly get. But it takes I'm telling you right now, it takes a lot to get me angry. Like, a lot. It really takes a lot to piss me off. Because I have a lot of patience and I put up with a lot of shit. But, you know, in terms of pushing me to my very limit, in terms of violence, I believe I could be probably the worst person on this planet. I think I could be one of the most dangerous people on the streets, or wherever the case may be, if I was pushed to that point, because I'm a big guy, you know, and I work out, I do all sorts of stuff, but it's not about that. It's about, you know, how far you can go, and I'm pretty sure I can go far. So I would not want to think about it, but on a scale of 1 to 10, I would say a 20. So to answer your third question, what do I think about Anonymous? Well, there are good people in Anonymous, and then there are people that work for the system. But Anonymous is just a group of people that are trying to spread the awareness of what's going on, you know, getting people to revolt, getting people to pretty much stand up for revolution and whatnot. And I think that's great, because, you know, I oppose tyranny, and I oppose a totalitarian, you know, state. And we as people were born free, you know, we're not born slaves. In a sense we are, because we're enslaved by the system, but as human beings we are born free. You know, nobody can really tell us what to do or how to do it, just because, you know, we live on this planet with them, you know, like we can do whatever we want, you know, but we're just enclosed by the system that we're forced to do what they say, because we have no other choice to a certain extent, you know, because how else are we going to get food and shelter and all that kind of stuff. So Anonymous, I think they are a very credible group. I give them a lot of respect for what they're trying to do and what they are doing. But then there are people in Anonymous that aren't so good, people that just want to abolish what, you know, activists and what people want to do and speak up against the government. So overall, for the good people in Anonymous, I give them a lot of credibility, because they are truly, truly good people. So to answer your fourth question, have I ever done drugs? If I said no, I would sit here and be a liar. So yeah, back when I was about 17 and 18, I was actually smoking a lot of marijuana. I was smoking a lot of weed. I was drinking a lot. And I think the farthest that I've ever went was I took an ecstasy pill. That was pretty much it. The only reason why I stopped smoking a lot and drinking was because one day when I went back to the gym, I saw how horrible my progress was. So pretty much I swore to myself never to do it again, because my stamina was horrible. My strength was completely gone. And I was just like, what in the hell happened? So... But the only reason why I was doing it was because of peer pressure. You know, it is what it is at the time. You know, I was hanging out with the wrong people. I was doing the wrong things, and pretty much it just backfired on me to that extent. But that was a long time ago, because I was just coming up on 18, 17, partially a little bit of 19, but that was pretty much it. I never done anything serious like crack or heroin or something like that. Never even wanted to. I never wanted to do anything but those. But I mean, yeah, everybody goes through their cycles, you know. So that was pretty much my little immature cycle, and I grew out of it. So. To answer your fifth question, can I watch your video? I am going to watch Christmas in the Hood as soon as I'm done. To answer your sixth question, why don't I ever speak Spanish? Because I'm not Spanish. I am not Spanish at all. I don't get why people think I'm Spanish. I am not Spanish. I don't know Spanish. I don't understand much Spanish. So that is why I don't speak Spanish in any of my videos, because I don't know Spanish and I'm not Spanish. So. And to answer your last question, I'm sorry, but I would have to say Dragon Ball Z. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is great. Yu-Gi-Oh! Has always been great and always will be great, but there's something about Dragon Ball Z that you just can't, step on their toes with. So I would have to say Dragon Ball Z for this one. So I hope you have a great New Year's, man. Thank you for the questions, Mr. Jake, and I hope you have a wonderful holiday season. And now moving on to the next question, which is from Doom Espersoner. Hey Alex, it's me again, Doom, not Boom, Doom. I just said it, Doom. How you doing, man? I'm doing pretty good. How are you? It's been a damn while since I submitted any questions for Fan Mail of the Week, but the good thing is I got a few up my sleeve. And I do too. We still have to battle in ZEQ too. So here we go. Here are the questions. Question number 1. Back in the day when you were a kid, did you ever have Dragon Ball Z action figures? Because I know back in the day they used to sell them. For me, it's pretty hard to get any of them, but luckily I got a lot of them. Well, aren't you a lucky camper? Question number 2. What is your favorite Dragon Ball Z fight? My personally has to be Goku versus Majin Vegeta because of how awesome that fight was. Brutal and fast-paced. Question number 3. What was your favorite DBZ game? Question number 4. What is your favorite PS2 game? I used to play a lot of PS2 games, DBZ, Superman, Scarface, GTA San Andreas, King Kong, and a lot more. Well, those are all my questions, man. Keep up the good work. You are the greatest YouTuber ever. Thank you, man. You are an inspiration for a lot of people, including me, and I respect you for that, man. You are like a real-life Goku, man. You are totally awesome. Take care until we meet again. Doom. Thank you so much, man. I mean, first of all, we still have to fight in ZEQ2, like I just said. Maybe do some what-if characters here and there, edit our characters, do some awesome stuff. So me and you have a school to settle, Mr. Doom. But thanks for the kind words, man. I really appreciate everything you've ever done for me, and I appreciate, the humble words. So thank you so much, man. To answer your first question, actually, I used to have Dragon Ball Z action figure. Yes, I used to have Dragon Ball Z's Super Saiyan 3 Goku. I used to have Super Buu and Piccolo. That was pretty much it. I mean, I couldn't afford anything else because the action figures were about $16 to $20 per action figure, and that was a lot of fucking money back in the day. So I wasn't able to get my hands on any of that, actually. All I had, I was so lucky that I got Super Saiyan 3 Goku, because that was the only one that I've ever wanted, And maybe if I were to dig my house upside down, maybe I can still find him somewhere. But the fact still remains that I've always wanted, a lot of Dragon Ball Z action figures when I was a kid, but I just couldn't afford it, because it was so much money and whatnot. Sometimes I used to cry because the store was literally around the corner, and they used to sell them, but they don't sell them anymore. So if they did, trust me, I go back, I'd buy the whole collection. But I only had 3, and then I had the fake little action figures that would break on you once you start pounding each other's face in. So luckily for you, you still have, so and apparently you have a lot. So that must be really cool on your end, having all these action figures that I've always wanted as a kid. So, to answer your second question, I would have to agree. Mine was also Majin Vegeta versus Goku for the simple fact that it was fast-paced, brutal, and the fact that both of them pretty much duked it out until there was nothing left. But the only thing I hated was how Goku was holding back. I think if Goku would have hit Super Saiyan 3, it would have made more sense, being that Majin Vegeta would have probably crapped himself. But then again, it was even more special to hold it off, until Buu. But besides Goku versus Majin Vegeta, another one of my favorite fights was Goku versus Perfect Cell. Cell was absolutely amazing. Cell was giving him a run for his money, and even while Goku was at his max, he still wasn't able to top Cell, and Cell pretty much was just dominating Goku throughout the entire fight. So that was actually one of my little favorites, because it was also brutal, it was fast-paced, and it was just a back-and-forth struggle, it wasn't just a one-sided fight. So, to answer your third question, favorite DBZ game, Budokai Tenkaichi 3 and Raging Blast 2. Those games are my favorite games because it's fast-paced. It has a ton of characters, including some what-if characters for Raging Blast. The entire GT roster for Budokai Tenkaichi 3. Great maps, just great overall performance from both games. And I wish that they were to create more games similar to those. If not, combine both ideas or both franchises. But those would have to be my 2 favorite games. And to answer your final question, favorite PS2 games, I had a lot, man. I had Metal Gear Solid 3, I had GTA San Andreas, I had Dragon Ball Z, I had WWE Shut Your Mouth, and Here Comes the Pain, along with SmackDown vs. Raw 2006. What else? I used to love playing Need for Speed Underground. I mean, that was one game that I can sit there with my friends and just race over and over and over and over again. Another one of my favorite games for the PS2 was also Scarface. Another favorite was perhaps Silent Hill, because I remember going back and forth on that game. I was too chicken to play it at the time. But just off the top of my head, those would be the games that I truly loved for the PS2. So I played King Kong on the Xbox along with some other stuff. I only played the third Spider-Man game. I never played anything else. So those would have to be my favorite games for the PS2. So, but thank you for the questions, Mr. Doom. I hope you have a wonderful holiday season, man. Have a great New Year's and take care of yourself, bro. And now moving on to the next question, which is from Vegito497. Hello, Alex. If you are reading this, then God has answered my prayers because you are one of my favorite YouTubers. Thank you, man. Now, before we start the questions, I would like to know that you have inspired me for the best. I have been bullied, but I'm like Gohan. I don't want to fight, but if I do, I will. I hope you have a long and perfect life. And now on to the questions. Thank you, man. Question number 1, who would win, Gogeta versus Super Buu? Question number 2, what is your favorite food? Mine is pizza. Question number 3, are you planning on getting Halo 5? Question number 4, which games from yes to no are you getting on this list? Modern Warfare 2, COG Black Ops 2, Battle of Z, Battlefield 4. Considering the fact that I have all the games on there, I'm just saying. Thank you for answering and taking your personal time to answer my questions. May you perfect the Kamehameha and the Super Saiyan technique. One of your best fans, Gio. Thank you so much, Gio. To answer your first question, see that would have been amazing to see, Gogeta versus Kid Buu. I think they should have made Kid Buu a lot more powerful than Super Buu, because given the fact that it's his original form and pretty much he has no control over himself or his actions, and Kid Buu is pretty much unpredictable. So I think it would have been best suitable to have Gogeta or perhaps Vegito fight Kid Buu. Now, Gogeta versus Kid Buu, obviously, I believe Gogeta would win. Given the fact that we saw what he did to Janemba, and there was a big freaking debate over Janemba on who was stronger between Janemba and Kid Buu. So a lot of people were actually agreeing that Janemba was a lot stronger because he took Super Saiyan 3 Goku to his limit and pretty much just knocked him out of his form. So to have Gogeta go up against Kid Buu, that would actually be very, very fun to see. Especially Gogeta, because we really don't know what he's capable of fully. We saw when he made his debut against, Janemba, that he pretty much tore him to pieces, especially, giving him 3 knees to the freaking neck, following it up by, a Stardust Breaker. So I think by having Gogeta go up against Kid Buu, I think Gogeta would definitely win, especially via Stardust Breaker. I mean, they have, an hour? So I think an hour of fusion would actually do them well, given the fact that that's all they really need, especially if they took the fight serious. Because you wouldn't want to take the fight as a joke, especially up against a person like Kid Buu, If Kid Buu gets mad enough, he's probably going to blow up the planet, So, for me, I think Gogeta would definitely win. To answer your second question, favorite food. I love pizza as well, but I am on a specific diet, so I can't really say much. But I would say this: when I was eating, fast food and junk food and pretty much all kinds of foods, I would have to say some of my favorite foods were definitely, number one, it'd definitely be a pizza. Number 2, it would be a double bacon cheeseburger with extra cheese and extra mayonnaise. Oh my God, that was perfection. What else? I would love cheese fries. Those are absolutely amazing. I mean, for those of you out there who, never even had cheese fries before, Jesus Christ, you have to have it. Other favorite foods I would have to say was, not is, but was, the ice cream Snickers bar. Oh my Jesus, like the moment like you eat the Snickers bar, it's just heaven in your mouth, and it's just absolutely amazing. But now, since I'm on a specific diet, I would have to say steak has always been one of my favorites. I love steak, T-bone steak, Romanian steak, whatever this. If it's steak and if it's good steak, I'll have it. So I would definitely have to say, as of right now, being that I'm on this diet, I would have to say steak. So, To answer your third question, will I be getting Halo 5? Abso-freaking-lutely. There is not one moment where I plan on not getting Halo 5. Halo 5 is going to be amazing. I really want to see where they're going to take the story from there. Personally, for me, they have a long way to go, especially with the competition being so stiff. Titanfall, Destiny, all that kind of stuff. So, for me, I definitely am getting Halo 5, and I really can't wait for it because Halo 5 is going to promise to introduce a lot. So, given the fact that Halo 5 is going to be a follow-up to the 4th game, I really can't wait to see how exactly they're going to tell the story with the Didac and the Prometheans and, the entire story as a whole. So, that is something that I cannot personally wait for. So, and to answer your last question, I have Modern Warfare 2, I have Black Ops, I have Battlefield, and I'm pretty much getting Dragon Ball Z Battle of Z in about a month. So, I mean, yes, and yes. I mean, I already have those games. If you mean what games should you get out of them, I would say Modern Warfare 2, definitely. I would say all of them, and they're all great games. Given the fact that Battle of Z did not come out yet, I would have to say all of those games are really, really good, given the fact that they're, well, 3 of them are first-person shooters, and the other one's pretty much an action game, they're all great. So, have them all, and that's pretty much that. So, thank you for the warm comments, Mr. Geo. I hope you have a wonderful New Year's and a wonderful holiday season, man. And now moving on to the next question, which is from Braxton Adams. Hey, Alex, my name is Braxton, and I am a freshman in college. When I am stressed, your videos always keep me chilled, man. You have turned me into a Dragon Ball Z fan once again, and I thank you. Thank you for watching my videos, bro. And you have a really cool name, Braxton. I mean, that's awesome. All right, question number 1. Do you really think that Battle of Z sales will be successful? That's a good question. Question number 2. Do you play sports games? I would love to play you on the 360. Question number 3. Why didn't they let Gohan reach his full potential? He is my favorite character, and I think that they should have made a movie where he was on par with his father. Well, that's if he didn't cheat. Question 4. If you and Piccolo fused together, what would your name be? And what would your super move be and your ultimate move? Thanks for answering my questions, Alex. Be blessed, and please keep doing what you are doing, and God put you on this earth to make people happy, and I hope that we meet each other one day. Thank you, man. I wouldn't mind that whatsoever, and God bless you, man. I hope you have a wonderful holiday season. Yeah, I hope you do great in college, man. To answer your first question, will the Dragon Ball Z Battle of Z sales ratings be good? Yeah, I really do think so. With the impact that I have made, with the impact that other people have made, I do think the Battle of Z sales will be pretty good. I think they will be successful, and I think that Namco Bandai is going to look back and they're going to say, wow, well, these people really care, and that's what they should be fucking looking at, because they don't really care about us as people. They care about us as sheep, They care about our money. They don't care about anything else. Like, I can care less about fucking money. I mean, as long as you give me a good fucking product, I will appreciate it. I don't really care about money, because money is going to make you miserable. It's not really going to get you anywhere in a certain aspect. So, with that being said, if Battle of Z does good, who knows? Maybe they might say, all right, well, we're going to make another game like 6 months from now, 7 months from now, a year from now, or we're going to release more. Here you go. Like more games coming our way, And I think that's very important, because we're starting to get Dragon Ball Z games like once every, year and a half, 2 years, and it sucks, man. It really does. So will the sales ratings be good? I hope so. A lot of people downloaded the demo. So I really do hope that a lot of people play it. And I really hope a lot of people buy Battle of Z, because it's going to be a good game. It's not going to be the best game in the world, but it's going to be a great game. To answer your second question, do I play sports games? I used to play a lot of Madden until one day I just had enough, because it was pretty much the same thing over and over and over and over again, except with an updated roster. So, what are the games I play? Oh, NBA. Right now, I'm currently playing NBA on the PS4, and I think that's a very good basketball game. On the Xbox 360, the last basketball game I ever got was NBA 2K12, and that was pretty much it from there. But let me see. I don't really play sports games as much. I mean, I have UFC, I have WWE, I have NBA, and I used to have Madden. So those would be the only sports games. I never played FIFA. I don't play, any of that stuff. So for the soccer aspect or anything else like baseball, definitely out of the picture. So to answer your third question, why didn't they let Gohan reach his full potential? Well, in an aspect, they kind of did. by having him go Mystic and Ultimate, all that kind of stuff. So he pretty much had a lot of potential, actually. If anything, Ultimate Gohan was proven to be one of the most powerful characters in the entire freaking franchise. Some people even saying that he was much more powerful than a Super Saiyan 3. So they pretty much allowed him to unleash his full potential, but only by sitting there and allowing the Kais to unlock his power for him. It sucks. It really sucks knowing that he have to have his powers unlocked via, you know, Kais instead of just training his ass off. But you also have to understand that he wasn't pretty much training during those times of peace. He was pretty much just, you know, going to college and talking to girls and all that kind of stuff. So I understand where they're coming from in that area. But imagine the possibilities if Gohan was still training during those 7 years. I mean, he would have been a Super Saiyan 3 easily. I mean, the dude had a lot of potential. And I mean, it took Goku and Vegeta a while to hit Super Saiyan 2, so you can imagine Gohan. I also think they should have made a movie where they utilized his full potential. But then again, didn't they already do that with BoJack and, you know, all the other movies? So Gohan is a very important character, but till this day, he would never achieve it without, you know, having somebody to help him. So, to answer your last question, it'd be pretty cool to fuse with Piccolo, because at least I'll know that if I get my arms blown off, I can regenerate. Super move would probably be the Super Special Beam Cannon. I think that would be pretty cool. And our ultimate move would be probably the Hell Zone Kamehameha, where it's just like a bunch of Hell Zone Kamehamehas, and we just send them out, and then whenever we want, we just bring them back down, and then boom. I would love to fuse with Piccolo, because Piccolo has a great mind. He is an excellent fighter, and he pretty much knows his shit. So having somebody like that on your side is definitely a plus. So, but once again, thank you for the questions, Mr. Braxton. I hope you have a wonderful holiday season, and I hope you take it easy in college, man. And now moving on to the next question. Holy shit, we're 3 hours into this. Hey, I applaud all of you that are watching this far. I mean, Jesus Christ. My ass hurts. I have to just get up, stretch a little bit. Oh my God, my back. To the next question, which is from Zitrana. Sup, Alex? My questions completely revolve around DBZ Battle of Z, and I wish you a Merry Christmas. Thank you, man. Merry Christmas to you as well. Question number 1. Why can't they just make a DBZ game that has everything to it in the DBZ game? Not hell, even GT. Oh, well, it's because they don't want to lose money, but I'll get into that. Question number 2, do you think we need a lot more what-if characters in this game? I remember in Budokai Tenkaichi 2, we had Gokul and Tiamsha. Question number 3, do you think it would be a good idea if they added more characters in the game from other anime, maybe Akira Toriyama? What? Really? Such as Arnold Nakramai from Dr. Slump, which actually made it onto the character roster in Budokai Tenkaichi 3. With Joko from Joko and the Galactic Power Man, the newest manga written by Akira Toriyama. Well, whatever new manga he's working on ain't gonna come close to DBZ, I'll tell you that much. Question number 4, do you think it would be a good idea if they added anime characters in the game that are from completely different anime shows, such as Naruto, Shippuden, or Injiko, well, from Bleach? Well, But then that means you're doing a crossover. Question number 5, do you think they should add in a better character creation, just as good as from the DB MMO? Thanks, Alex, for answering my questions, and have a awesome day and an awesome Christmas. P.S. They add the Frieza Soldier in Battle of Z instead of Kui. Did they really? Fucking guys. PSS, I do Dragon Ball Z Ultimate Tenkaichi What If Battles on my channel. I was hoping you can go check them out. And PS, thanks for the awesome videos. And PS, thank you for being awesome. Thank you, man. Well, to answer your first question, why can't they make a Dragon Ball Z game that has everything in it? Because if they do that, like I said earlier, they're going to lose a lot of money in future products, because everybody's going to just worry about that one perfect game instead of just getting game after game after game. You have to remember, these corporations, all they care about is money. I mean, it sucks. It really does. I mean, some corporations actually care about us as fans, but then other corporations just say, you know what, just put something together and we'll sell it. So that's pretty much what they do. Now, in terms of not even including GT characters, well, I mean, why not have GT characters? I think GT characters make up for Dragon Ball, especially after Z, because how awesome would it be to have Super Saiyan God Goku versus Super Saiyan 4 Goku, or Omega Shenron versus Whis and stuff like that. I think that would be pretty cool. So why can't they just make the ultimate Dragon Ball Z game? It's because they're scared of losing money. that's what this world has come to, just money, 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 money. That's all these people care about, is just money. So, I really wish that they were to make the Ultimate Dragon Ball Z game, but I think those two games have already gone past our generation, and that's Raging Blast 2 and Budokai Tenkaichi 3. I think those were the best Dragon Ball Z games that we've ever had, and I don't think anything can come close to the two. But I really have my hopes high for the future. Let's just see what they do, and if everything goes good, then let's just see what happens. So to answer your second question, what do I think about what if characters? Well, I definitely think they should add more what if characters. For example, maybe a fusion between Janemba and baby Janemba, or maybe Janemba and Super Buu Absorb, maybe Super Buu Janembu or something like that. Perhaps maybe have Super Saiyan 3 Broly return, Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta return, Super Saiyan 3 Trunks make its debut, Super Saiyan 3 Vegito, that would be pretty cool, going up against Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, or maybe perhaps a Super Saiyan 3 Gogeta, maybe even a Super Saiyan 5 if you want to push the limit, More fusions with enemies would be cool, like Cell and Frieza, just like they did in Budokai Tenkaichi, well, Budokai 3 actually, excuse me. Or maybe perhaps adding in Broly fused with Majin Buu, like that would be pretty sick, like Super Buu Broly absorbed. Or maybe perhaps have, an adult version of Gotenks, maybe. Or maybe have Pan as a Super Saiyan, perhaps. Or maybe include Omega Shenron Super Buu absorbed or something like that. Have Super Buu Omega Shenron absorbed. I think those aspects would be pretty cool. Or maybe Super Buu Gogeta absorbed. Like, just think about the possibilities. It's sick. I mean, even little characters like Tien and Krillin. I think those two would be a pretty good team. Perhaps having Pikkon and Piccolo fuse or something like that. Or maybe, having perhaps a Super Saiyan 3 Gohan. Like, the possibilities are endless. So why not do them, Maybe have some wacky, fusions, like, for example, Master Roshi and Hercule. I think those two egos fit definitely, So in terms of what if characters, I definitely think they should include that, because without what if characters, the game becomes dull and it just becomes boring, To answer your third question, you're talking about crossovers. If they were to do that, then they can't really name the game Dragon Ball Z by adding, Sasuke and Pain and, any of the sages from Naruto in the game, along with, other anime characters, So for that, I think that they should just stick with what they have now rather than doing crossovers. So to answer your fourth question, what do I think about adding other characters in the game, or maybe perhaps, other stuff that Akira Toriyama has worked on? I don't think that'd be a good idea. Just stick to Dragon Ball Z. This actually goes back to the previous question. Stick to Dragon Ball Z, because without the Dragon Ball Z formula, you're just going to have a bunch of random ass characters, and it's going to evolve into something like Super Smash Brothers. And Super Smash Brothers is great, but it doesn't fit DBZ. So to answer your last question, character creation should definitely be a plus in the Dragon Ball Z world at all times. We all want to create our own characters. We all want to do our own thing, and by that, I think that they should definitely look into that, because character creation is definitely a huge part, definitely a huge role in Dragon Ball Z, because how awesome would it be for you to create your own character, your own race, your own story, for that matter, for that character, So I think they should definitely do that for the PS4 and Xbox One, so... but thank you for the questions, man. I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful week, and I hope you enjoy your New Year's, man, and God bless you as well. Let's move on forward, everybody, to the next question, which is from Future Trunks. Hey, dude, I love your channel and all of your videos. You are the greatest commentator ever. Thank you, man. I hope I win one of your giveaways. Anyways, on to the questions. Question number 1. If Vegeta is Super Saiyan God, wouldn't he have to reach the form of Super Saiyan 3? And what if Goku and Vegeta fused as Super Saiyan Gods? Question number 2. What would you prefer, going into the future or past? Question number 3. I saw in a video that Goku has about 6 character slots and Frieza has about 5 and Cell also has about 5. What do you think about this? Question number 4. Who would you be, Goku or Vegeta? Well, those are all my questions for now. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas and stay safe. P.S. Remember that time in the comment section where I was like, Bragga, and you were like, Bragga, and then I looked at you and I was like, Bragga. Thank you, man. Thank you for the question so much. To answer your first question, it doesn't necessarily mean that he has to become a Super Saiyan 3, because the ability is granted by those who actually give you the power, and you do need 5 pure-hearted Saiyans to do that, so I'm pretty sure somewhere along the lines he will become a Super Saiyan God, but I would much rather see Vegeta as a Super Saiyan 3 first before I see him as a Super Saiyan God, because a Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta would not only look beast, but he would fight as a beast. You know, I think overall Vegeta is definitely a character that deserves his shine. He deserves his moment. Vegeta is by far one of the best characters in the show, and he busts his ass. He really does. I mean, Vegeta is looked down upon a lot. He's talked down to a lot. You know, he's overshadowed by everybody else. And Vegeta trains his heart out. You know, Vegeta has a lot of passion. Vegeta cares about what he does. And he just can't seem, you know, to find his niche in a sense. Like, Vegeta just can't just... I think that Vegeta is starting to believe that he can't even do it himself, you know? Just because you know, you had Bills that slapped Bulma, that was the only way for his power to increase. I mean, it sucks, really. But Vegeta definitely trains his ass off. He tries to show everybody that he is the best. And to me, I think he is the best. I think Vegeta is the personification of hard work. And I would love for him to reach a Super Saiyan 3 first, and then reach Super Saiyan God. But then again, like I said, it's not up to us. It's up to Mr. Toriyama, because he's the one that's making all this stuff. Unless, of course, he decides to go on ahead and sell the rights on over and stuff like that, which I think would be very, very good for business, because then we can just continue the saga, continue the franchise, continue everything else from there. And but what would have happened if Goku and Vegeta fused? That would be fucking amazing, especially seeing the new God fusion. I mean, how powerful do you think that person would be? Whether it be Gogeta or Vegito, they would be very, very powerful. I think they would be 100 times more powerful than what they were, you know, as normal fusions. So I think seeing that would just be a freaking a miracle in and of itself. So to answer your second question, where would I go past or future? I would go in the future just to be a little curious to see what's going on. I probably wouldn't touch anything. I probably wouldn't buy anything. I would just like to go in the future and just see how everything is, see where things stand. I want to see how products are. I want to see where video games lie. I want to see, you know, just pretty much where the world has gone, you know, as a whole. So that can actually vary, whether it be, you know, the earth actually, you know, pretty much is still around, or maybe we all just obliterated ourselves, you know, into an oblivion. So but I would much rather preferably go back in the past, because I would love to revisit some really awesome moments, like when the dinosaurs were around, you know, the Salem witch trials. I was always curious on like stuff like that. I've always wanted to see how that actually played off, or maybe perhaps going back to, you know, where it was the 60s, the 50s, the 40s, the 20s, you know, the 80s and stuff like that, the 90s, you know, just revisiting the past and just having a good time, you know. That's something I would definitely do. Sorry about that, guys. My voice is freaking cramping up because I've been just sitting here for 3 hours. I need water. To answer your third question, about the 6 slots, you're going to have normal Goku. I believe you're going to have Super Saiyan 1, Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3, and I believe Super Saiyan God. I think the last one is going to be a fusion, either Vegito or Gogeta. But if anything, if it's not going to be in that order, then it's probably going to go regular Goku, Kaioken Goku, Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3, and then Super Saiyan God. Those would be the only 6 slots I can imagine. I really hate how they're filling in all these slots with characters that are already in the game. Like, for example, you're going to have like 6 different Gokus. Like, why? You know, like, you're only taking up a lot of other, you know, character slots, and it's pretty much unfair. So, I think that was one of the biggest mistakes they have ever done. So, and to answer your last question, who would I be? I would probably be Goku, because number 1, I would be able to use my instant transmission. Number 2, I would be able to use the Spirit Bomb. Number 3, I would be able to freaking go Super Saiyan 3 and Super Saiyan God. Number 4, I'm able to do Ultimate Warp Kamehamehas, and I think that's freaking awesome. So, that's pretty much who I would be amongst the two. So, thank you for the questions, man. I really do appreciate it. I also hope you have a wonderful holiday season. I hope you enjoyed your Christmas. I hope you enjoy the New Year's, and I hope you stay safe, my friend, and I'll be seeing you later. So, on that note, moving on to the next question, which is from Black Star Flash. Hey, Alex, how's the chair, you motherfucking... Hey, question number 1. What do you think of Rap God by Eminem? Question number 2. What is better, Battlefield 4 or COD Ghost? Question number 3. Who's better, DC or Marvel? All right, well, to answer your pre-question, how's the chair? Well, I mean, the chair is pretty bad. My back still hurts. My ass still hurts. The chair is uncomfy. I mean, the cushion's been reduced to shit. There is no cushion, and pretty much the wheels on the bus go round and round. So, to answer your first question, what do I think of Rap God by Eminem? Well, Eminem is a fantastic rapper. I think he's the best rapper of our generation. I think he's the best rapper alive right now because Eminem's wordplay, Eminem's vocabulary, Eminem's rap style cannot be mimicked, man. That dude, if given the circumstance, I think this dude would literally smash any other rapper in a rap battle. Because Eminem would go directly towards your soul, like Eminem would not give a shit, what Eminem raps about people can relate to, not like fucking Rick Ross or dumbass French Montana or fucking, what's his name, Chief K for that, yeah, bang bang, bitch ass. Who else do you got? You have a bunch of like retarded ass rappers these days. You have Meek Mills, who sounds like he's screaming all the time, like shut up, all of you need to just shut the fuck up. I mean, Rick Ross, yeah, I got a Maybach, I got some motherfucking money in the bag, I got motherfucking money in my ass. Shut up. And you got freaking French Montana freaking rapping about the same garbage. Rick Ross rapping about the same garbage. You got all of these rappers. Lil Wayne, I don't know what the fuck he's rapping about these days. He's just rapping about Candy Crush and fucking lollipops and all this shit. I don't know, man. You got Drake's emotional ass, who can do a lot better if he wasn't such a bitch. So Eminem, man, he is one of the best. And if he's gone, that's pretty much it. I mean, we're going to have to be stuck with all these other retarded ass rappers. So Rap God is amazing. You guys should just definitely go look it up because it's just awesome. I mean, this guy spits like a billion different fucking words in about a minute. It's insane. It really is. So Eminem, best artist of our generation. To answer your second question, what is better, Battlefield 4 or COD Ghost? Battlefield 4 is better because overall better graphics, better multiplayer, better environment destructions, because in COD Ghost you can't really blow anything the fuck up. It's just the same old shit. Battlefield 4 offers more of a unique style with the other players rather than Call of Duty where you're just running around lone wolf bullshit, So I would much rather prefer Battlefield 4 over Call of Duty Ghosts. So, and to answer your last question, DC or Marvel, that is hard because you have Superman, Batman on one side, and then you have freaking Thor, Hulk, and everybody else on the other side. This can vary. Well, for me personally, I think Marvel. But then again, there are some DC people that would refute that and be like, no, you don't know. DC would crush Marvel. And, not that I'm saying that they're wrong. I'm just saying, like, it's very, very hard to look at because DC has a huge universe. And Marvel has a huge universe. I mean, that's like putting Darkseid against Thanos and Hulk against Superman and Thor against, Batman or something like that, or maybe Iron Man versus Batman and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's a good matchup, but it'll all come down to that one freaking moment where like the tides are officially turned. And I mean, you can't really dictate any of that yet because you don't know where anybody stands at the moment. So for me, I would have to say Marvel just because some of my favorite guys are on Marvel. Like I said, I have a lot of favorites on DC. I love Batman, I love Flash, I love Superman. But I'm sorry, just Marvel, it's where it's at for me. So for that, I would have to say Marvel. So, but thank you for the question, Mr. Blackstar Flash, and I hope you have a wonderful holiday season, my friend. Now on to the next question, which is from Dragon Eyes Unite. Hi, UnrealEntGaming. I just want to say you are my inspiration, and you're the only reason why I got back into Dragon Ball Z. Thank you, man. Question number 1. Here we go. If you could beg the people making DBZ Battle of Z to give you the game now, would you beg them like hell or die trying? By die trying, I mean really get hurt. Question 2, if you had to quit Dragon Ball Z for some reason and switch to something else, would you do it? What would you switch to? Question number 3, why are you so epic? Well, that's it. Thanks a lot for this fan mail of the week. I'll always remember you. Thank you, man. What are you gonna fly away or something? Don't leave. Don't leave. All right. Anyways, to answer your first question, I would not beg for the game at all. I mean, the game only comes out in about a month, so I mean, why would I wanna, beg for the game now? I mean, it would be pretty cool to have it, prior to its release, but I would not beg for the game. I mean, or die trying, for that matter. I mean, by any means getting hurt for the game, especially if the game comes out, next month. So, then again, if it was Dragon Ball Z Raging Blast 3 or Budokai Tenkaichi 4, I would beg. I'd be like, please let me have the game. But I wouldn't go to the certain extent of just die trying, But what I do think is, they need to release more Dragon Ball Z games. They definitely need to get on their stuff, because there are a lot of Dragon Ball Z fans out there, and some people aren't fans of Battle of Z. Like, I've been doing the videos on them, and not a lot of people are fans of Battle of Z. Battle of Z being, to some, referred to by some as a failed project. I think Battle of Z has potential, perhaps, to be a good game. It's not going to be a bad game at all, in my opinion, but we're just going to have to really wait and see what's going to happen, because Battle of Z is going to be great. I mean, like I said, it's a hit or miss, really. But would I beg for the game? Absolutely not. To answer your second question, I would never quit Dragon Ball Z for any circumstance. Like, at all. So, I mean, switching to something else would not be an option, especially for anime. If there would be anything else close to Dragon Ball Z that I would switch to, it'll probably be Naruto. But Dragon Ball Z still stands at the pinnacle for me for anime. For some people, not so much. For some people, they love, Death Note, they love Yu Yu Hakusho, they love Gundam, they love Bleach, they love, One Piece, they love all that kind of stuff. So for me, I feel like Dragon Ball Z, is where it's at right now because of its success and because of its, storytelling and character development. So I would not want to switch Dragon Ball Z for anything else, to be honest. So that's my response to that. And to answer your final question, why am I so epic? I mean, I don't believe I'm epic at all. I just believe that I'm another person, I'm just a regular guy that's on here, and I love making videos for you guys. I love playing video games. I love wrestling. I love my peers. I love my family. I love you guys. So I guess, in a sense, you can just say I'm just another person that's trying to make this place a better, world for everybody else, I said it a million times. I don't care about money. I don't care about anything else. I just care about having a good time. I care about talking to you guys. That's why I talk to you guys in the comment section. I message you guys and respond to you on Facebook and Twitter, and I actually respond on Instagram and all that kind of stuff, I am one of the very, 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 very few YouTubers that actually does that, Not a lot of people do what I do, and I'm really, humble to do that. So it's people like you and people like everyone else that actually gets me going. So for that, I really have to say thank you, because without you guys, I would not know what to do, so thank you all for this. So thank you, Mr. Dragon Knight, and I really hope you enjoy your holiday season, man. Happy New Year, by the way. And now moving on to the next question, which is from Abdul Sazik. Hey Alex, Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's to you as well. This is my first fan mail, and I wanted to make one by the end of the year. Now, here are my questions. Here we go. Question number 1. If Namco Bandai was making Dragon Ball Z Raging Blast 3 for Xbox One and PS4, do you think Superman would be a good DLC character? Question 2. Tell Paul I said hi. Question 3, if you could turn into any character and stay like that character forever, who would it be? That doesn't count anime. Question number 4, do you think Dragon Ball GT could have been better? Explain how you would do it. Question 5, do you think Dragon Ball Evolution is worth seeing? That is fucking stupid. Hell no, that movie's fucking sucked. I think so, even though it might suck and make no sense. So why the hell would you watch it? Question 6, if you make a Mind Wars 5, could you make it for the Xbox 360? Question 7, also, did you know that if your energy is full on Battle of Z, you can do ultimate attacks like, I don't know, like Spirit Bombs? Those are all my questions. God bless you and have a happy new year. P.S. If you see a gamer tag on your Xbox 360 that says Swag Daddy 532, that is me. I think we should play Battle of Z sometime so I can Spirit Bomb your face. What a threat, eh? PSS, do you think you can have a Xbox Live Gold contest? I'm not really sure if you had one or not. PSSSS. Also, if you could do a tournament or something for Battle of Z, like it could be you, Paul, Sean, and his name versus the world or something like that. Well, that's a very good idea. That's not bad. Well, thank you for the questions. To answer your first question, if Namco Bandai were to make Raging Blast 3, would Superman be a good character? I don't think he would fit within that universe because Superman is a DC, comic book character. I mean, it would be pretty cool to see him as a DLC character, don't get me wrong. I would love to see something like that, but would it make sense? Absolutely not. Because, first of all, you're going to have a whole bunch of Dragon Ball Z characters collide with one DC character. I really don't think that would make any sense whatsoever. I mean, because as much as we would love to see that, in terms of it making sense, it wouldn't make any sense, because how would they bring Superman into Dragon Ball Z as the picture? I mean, how would you introduce him? So would I like it? Yeah, I would, because I would love to do, you know, Superman versus Vegito, Superman versus Boo, Superman versus Vegeta and Goku, stuff like that. So I really don't know. I mean, I really doubt they would ever do something like that, but would it be a good idea? That all varies. I mean, would I like it? Yeah, but would it make sense? No. To answer your second question, tell Paul I said hi. Mr. Paul, they said hi. Mr. Paul does not respond. Mr. Paul went AFK. To answer your third question, if I could be any cartoon character and stay like that forever, who would I be? Well, if this includes comic book heroes, then I mean, I would definitely want to be Thor, for obvious reasons. You're the god of thunder, and you're pretty much you're a demigod, and you pretty much live forever in a sense. I would love to be Hulk, just for the simple fact that you're freaking strong as shit and nothing can pretty much kill you. I would love to be Superman for obvious reasons. You can't die and you have all cool abilities. But if we're not talking comic book heroes, I would probably say Master Chief from Halo, because Master Chief is a legitimate badass. This dude can literally hold his own in any battle, so I would definitely say him. But you're also saying cartoon characters, you're not saying games. So cartoon characters, I would have to say, I would probably say something like probably Brian, or maybe, you know, Stewie from Family Guy. You know, I would love to be a freaking genius baby inventing time machines and stuff like that. I would actually use that to my advantage. So if I could do anything like that, those are the characters that I would be. To answer your fourth question, what do I think of Dragon Ball GT? I've said it 1,000 times. GT could have been a lot better. The way I would do it was I would definitely bring in the Bruce Falconer music. I would have never have made Goku a kid. That was just so freaking stupid. I would have added one more saga to the franchise. That way there could have been at least 4 sagas, you know, the whole main sagas with Baby, Super 17, Omega Shenron, and maybe perhaps another saga that can tie into that. Another thing that I would do is I would make Vegeta go Super Saiyan 3. I would make Vegeta go Super Saiyan 4 legitimately without using blood transfusions or blood swaves. I would reintroduce Gotenks as an adult. I would reintroduce Gogeta and Vegito in the series. I would actually do several things, and GT had so much potential, you know. GT had the potential to be better than Z, but they pretty much flopped with the music, they flopped with the story, and, you know, they pretty much flopped with everything on GT, because GT could have been so much better, but they just decided, oh, we're just going to make GT and not give the fans what they want. So that's the way I would do it, honestly. To answer your fifth question, is Dragon Ball Evolution worth seeing? No, hell no. I mean, just like you pointed out, it sucks and it makes no sense. Why even see it? To answer your sixth question, I am sorry, but Mind Wars will not be coming for the Xbox 360. Perhaps maybe one day for the next-gen consoles, Xbox One, PS4, but for now, probably not for the 360, sorry. And to answer your final question, well, now that I know that, I'm going to freaking spirit bomb everybody I can possibly spirit bomb, but even though I don't know how to do ultimate attacks, I doubt you can do it on the demo, but, you know, it is what it is, and I'm definitely going to do it in the actual game, so. But thank you for the questions, it really means a lot, and I can't believe that this is officially the longest fan mail ever. I'm actually quite happy that this is it, so thank you for the questions, and I really hope you're enjoying this fan mail, and I really hope you were watching up until this point instead of skipping the video, because that would have meant just more to me than anything else. So, but thank you for the questions, truly appreciate it. And now moving on to the next question, which is from AJ Jax. Hey Alex, this is my second time doing fan mail of the week. Thanks for answering my first fan mail questions. I have to say that you are one of my YouTubers out there. I just love the fact that you're so honest and you care about your subscribers so much. Thank you. Anyways, before I start, get off the topic, here are my questions. Here we go. Question number 1. What are your thoughts about this? A while back, a family member came by and started to live with us. We've been trying to help that family member, but as much as we love that family member, she does not want to change as much as we try. Now, recently, that family member had to be kicked out. Now, I'm torn between being revealed and worried about her, but choose not to be mine. For the purpose of this fan mail, I have had to end it here. Well, damn. I mean, there are situations where people get placed in very difficult times, but I'll get into that. Question number 2, how far are you in Death Note? If you're still stuck on episode 1, I'm going to rage. No, I'm not stuck on episode 1 anymore. Whoop, whoop. Question 3, have you ever seen Attack on Titan or Fairy Tail? Some of things in Fairy Tail might remind you of Dragon Ball. Really? Question 4, if you could work for Dragon Ball Z, what would you do in the series? Thank you if this gets answered, but sorry about the first question being so serious. God bless and happy holidays to you and your family. Thank you, and God bless you and your family as well. Thank you so much, and I don't really mind it at all. To answer your first question, well, that's just life. Some people just don't want to change, and sometimes people are going to have to learn the hard way. I really don't know your situation. I don't know what this particular person has done in order for her not to change her ways or in order for her to get kicked out. But you also have to remember, I mean, you shouldn't be torn on that, because if you're trying to better somebody and they're not taking your time or effort seriously, why even bother? Now, I understand they may be family, they may be blood related, but they also have to understand that, you know, life is just too short to just do mediocre things, you know what I mean? Just, you know, like I learned from Fast and Furious, you know, never turn your back on family even when they do. And I'm pretty sure that she hasn't turned her back on you guys. She turned her back on herself. Now, I don't know what this person did in particular, whether she is doing drugs, whether she was a part of, you know, a group or a gang, or maybe she's pregnant, or maybe she was just, you know, being abused in a relationship, or whether she was doing stupid things like dropping out of school, or maybe she quit her job, or whatever the case may be, because the situations, you know, it can vary, you know, unless, of course, she's a serial killer, but I'm pretty sure that in order for that family member to get kicked out, either she wasn't contributing or she wasn't being humble about the fact that you all were trying to help her. It truly sucks, and what I think that person needs is someone to talk to on a one-on-one basis, on a private level, just for them to lay it all out there and just say what the hell is going on, what's troubling them. And I think for you, if you care that much about her, what I think you should do is get with her one day, sit her down or whatever, and just talk to her. Be like, listen, I'm trying to help you have a better life. I'm trying to help you be better. What you're doing right now is not going to benefit you down the road. What you're doing right now is not beneficial toward your family or toward your health. What you're doing right now is a mistake, and I want to be there for you, and I want to help you have a better life. I want to help you wake up in the morning or wake up later on down the road and have to say, wow, you know, my life is good because of this pep talk that I had. And you know what I think you should do is just talk to her about it, tell her, ask her to explain everything to you in detail. And, you know, whatever the case may be, you know, it's ultimately going to have to be her decision, not really yours or anybody else's, because she's the one going through that situation. So she's the one that's going to have to make the decision. But what I really do think some people need sometimes is a really good talk, a really friendly talk, not a demanding talk, not just a forceful, you have to do what I say type of talk, you know, but sit down, talk to her about everything, relate to her, you know, give her some warm advice, you know, because at this point in her life, I'm pretty sure she's at rock bottom. So if anybody can pull her out of this, it could possibly be you. But, you know, in the end, if you take your notes and you pay attention very closely, if nothing changes, then you have to accept the fact that they don't want to change it for themselves. Some people just want to learn the hard way, AJ. And I mean, it sucks because I've had friends myself, they weren't family, but they were really close friends that didn't want to take advice. They didn't want to listen. And when they learned the hard way, they came crawling back, you know, begging you to, you know, listen and whatnot. And it sucks. It truly sucks. But, you know, that family member, for whatever reason it may be, I hope that she pulls through this, because if not, she's forever going to be stuck in that hole. So to answer your second question, I've gotten up to episode 4. Okay, give me a break. I've been watching Naruto recently. I've been getting into that with the whole Naruto versus Pain, Naruto versus Sasuke battles. What else? Jesus Christ! I've been trying to watch. Actually, my friends have been trying to get me into Vampire Diaries, and it's just I'm stuck with so many things to watch, and I'm always, you know, recording and stuff, so it's really hard to get time on my hands, especially with me working out and going to wrestling practice and then going to work and then coming here and then watching and playing games. It's just like, what in the hell? My day goes by so fast. I swear to you, 2013 just flew right by. So am I stuck on episode 1? No, so you don't have to rage. To answer your third question, I haven't seen any of them. I've heard a lot about Attack on Titan. Everybody's been asking for it, so if anything, I might just give it a try, but that's only if I can fit that in my freaking schedule. And to answer your last question, what would I do if I can work on a new series? I would do everything in my power to get the Bruce Falcorn music back in there. I think that's what made Dragon Ball Z Dragon Ball Z. Even though recently Sean Schemmel, the voice of Goku, said, oh, well, the Japanese music fits better for Kai. That's Kai. We're talking about something else, you know, and I would actually, you know, create another 1,000 episodes. I think if I were to make a series, I would probably make it the final series by adding maybe 5 to 6 sagas and maybe 1,000 to like 1,500 episodes straight, and that'll be it. That'll be the end of Dragon Ball Z as we know it. Perhaps, maybe. But you know, like, the possibilities are so endless. You know, you could do so much. You could reintroduce old characters, or you can just come up with new characters and just take it from there. You know, not to mention all of the gods. You know, so it's pretty cool to see how far you can go. But for Dragon Ball Z's sake, I would go on until maybe I would reach either 1,000 episodes or 2,000 episodes. So that's my freaking answer for Dragon Ball Z, because Dragon Ball Z can go on forever if given the right, you know, producer and director and, you know, writer, and just overall, I mean, Dragon Ball Z, if you give it to the right person, it's always gonna live on, you know. And I really love it because you learn so much from such a show like that, you know. So I mean, I've learned a lot. So, but once again, AJ, thank you for the questions. God bless you and your family. I hope you get by your situation. I hope you have a wonderful new year. We have officially made history, everybody. This is the longest fan mail ever. Thank you all for watching the final fan mail of 2013. God bless every single one of you. I hope all of you have a wonderful new year, wonderful holiday season. Thank you all for watching, everybody. As always, we are going to be back in 2014 with a lot more stuff, so I hope you all stay tuned. If you guys are fans, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for all the latest news, information, updates, and more. I hope you all enjoyed. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below, guys. Rate that thumbs up button. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Hit that like button, everybody. I hope you all enjoy. I hope you all don't drink and drive. Enjoy the new year. Enjoy everything, you guys. I hope you all take care. God bless all of you, and I'll be seeing each and every single one of you guys in the new year. God bless all of you. Peace.